The Fast Life podcast is brought to you by Simpson Motorcycle Helmets. As many of you guys know, I am a Simpson fan through and through. Personally have a Ghost Bandit and Mod Bandit myself, and I've ridden with them coast to coast. Check out all the models and options at SimpsonMotorcycleHelmets.com. Simpson's mother store in New Braunfels, Texas is having their annual open house car and bike show Saturday, October 19th from 10 to 3 p.m. In addition, us here at the Fast Life Garage will be hosting a small camp out at Waco Springs, campground Friday the 18th through the Sunday the 20th. All you guys are welcome to come out and just camp, drink, party. Gonna do some hill country riding and just have a good time. So hope to see you guys there. Lexan Moto dropped some new products at this year's AIM Expo, like the FT4 Pro Wireless X Grip Charge, tank bag wireless charger, and GTA intercom system. That's a mouthful, right? The FT4 Pro is to be the first in the industry to have a patented utility light with SOS function. The GT8 will be the absolute cutting edge with all the latest and greatest, including audio paralleling, and mesh technology. Both wireless chargers will work with any phone that has wireless charging capabilities and will mount to any Ram X mount grip phone mount on the market. All products were designed to meet the demands of the consumers in the industry. Their customers told Lexan them what they wanted, and damn it, they built it for them. Lexan Moto will continue to build products the riders want and need, and all backed with amazing warranties. Check out info on all these products at LexanMotorcycle.com and use Fast Life at checkout for 15% off, and give the team a follow on Instagram at Lexan Moto. John Jessup's Team Dream Rides is your hub in NorCal for bike sales, bike builds, maintenance, and in-house dyno tuning. If Stockton, California is not close enough for you to stop by, check out their website at teamdreamrides.com. They are bringing on new products regularly and now offering 100 days same as cash financing on products. All you need is a job and a bank account. And don't forget to use the offer code FASTLIFE for 10% off at checkout on teamdreamrides.com. Give John and the team a follow at Dream Rides John on Instagram. Lindahl Brakes makes some of the highest quality brake rotors, wheels, and brake pads in the industry. Check out LindahlBrakes.com and see what they have for your bike. And don't forget to use Fast Life at checkout for 10% off, and stay up to date with the Lindahl team by following them at Lindahl Brakes on Instagram. Kevin and his team at Big Bear Performance have been investing their product line into parts that make your Harley perform, feel, and look amazing, along with being the industry leader in Olin suspension sales, service, and tuning. Check out BigBearPerformance.com, and you can always give Kevin a call and get the info and answers about your motorcycle upgrades at 909-479-7788. And also follow Big Bear Choppers on Instagram. Paint Huffer Metal Flake is the industry standard when it comes to flake, and one of the key elements in helping your paint job stand out. Brian is constantly on the grind, pushing the boundaries and developing new products. Check out PaintHuffer.com. Use Fast Life at checkout for 10% off. Follow Paint Huffer Metal Flake on Instagram and stay up to date on the product releases and the works of art produced by many artists from around the globe. And recently he released the execution style flake, which is a couple different flakes, and you should check him out. I was there during the week checking out all this badass stuff, and he's got so many things coming out, and there's so many things out there right now. So all you painters, go check him out and see what he has for you to help out with your paint work. I want to thank all you listeners for tuning in, and thank you for helping this podcast grow. I also want to thank you Patreon supporters for helping fund this podcast. We have so much planned, and your contributions make these things possible. I just got home from a 4-day podcast trip to Phoenix, Arizona that was made possible by our Patreon support and my good friend Aaron, known as Midwest Grinder on Instagram. He paid for the flight to Phoenix in order for us to bring on these amazing guests we have lined up for you guys. For as little as $1 a month, which is $12 a year, makes a difference in the future of this podcast. So all you guys that reach out and keep asking me how you can help out, it's that simple. You know, I know that when you spend $1 a month, you don't get like a t-shirt or something, but you do get these podcasts, which I know you guys reach out in so many different ways and tell me how this stuff helps you, and I appreciate that. And you know, if you can't do the Patreon, it's not the end of the world. We're gonna keep doing this as much as we can, but you know, the growth does depend on the financial influx of income, or however the fuck you would say that shit. But anyway, this first podcast we're going to be releasing from this trip to Phoenix is going to be with Danny, who is the owner and creator of Dixxon Flannel Company. I know a lot of you guys are rocking their shit daily. We've had him on the podcast along with Justin before. This is just me and Danny this time, and we're not drunk like we were on the last one. So, you know, I want to thank him for taking the time out of his busy day to sit down and share with us just what's going on in the world of Dixxon Flannel and Danny. So without wasting any more of you guys' time, I just want to welcome you to this podcast. Here we go. Danny from Dixxon Flannel Co.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
Fast Life Podcast Life.
Cool. All right. Shit, man. Thanks for having me back.
Thanks for being back, dude. Thanks for coming back here after we both had nasty ass hangovers after our last one.
Dude, I tried to listen to it and it was a shit show to say the least.
It was so funny because it started off like so on point, and at the end it was just like madness.
This shit was wild, man. It was a good time, man. It was definitely, you know, we did that, man. We were only like 3 months into this. Not even actually. I think we were 2 months into this podcast shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we didn't really know what the fuck we were doing, and not that we do now or anything, but you know
how that goes.
It was like, it's like that thing when you start getting fucked up and you drink, you just feel like everything that you're saying is awesome.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
And then you listen back to, you're like, what the fuck was I talking about the entire time, man? It's
seriously. I try to, like, if I ever feel like what I'm gonna say just sounds so smooth, I think about what it looks like when I dance when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
And you see like a video the next day.
Exactly.
You're just like, you're all, like you're thinking I look all smooth. And then you see the video and you're like, oh my God, what did I do?
That shit's fucking crazy, man.
But yeah, that was good times, dude. I think that was only like the second podcast I'd ever been on.
Yeah, you did one with some chicks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I tried to listen to that one, and it was very, it's like open in like a dealership or something. Like y'all were just sitting around, or
right. The audio was all fucked up. Yeah,
and that's one of the things that like your podcast, I guess 40 volt media was helping you with all the audio stuff. Sounds fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
Like, that shit makes a difference in the long run when you listen to it.
Yeah, they used to help out a lot, and then you know, now we got the room dialed in so that it actually sounds good.
Yeah.
Started messing with a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, when you set it up like this, and it's pretty effortless, man. Like you just plug and play and go. So it's fucking what I'm trying to get done at back in Dallas, man. Just have a complete setup that doesn't move.
You'll get it. Yeah. But when you do, I get to come out there.
For sure.
It's been a while since I've been there.
Dallas is a party town, man.
Yeah, it's
people
a good
don't
time,
think
man.
about it, you know, because we don't have any like we don't have like the Vegas thing, or like we don't have a college in downtown. We do have a college. We got SMU, but it's not like like the party town around here.
Like ASU, we got right down the street. Yeah,
it's like a goddamn fucking like rave video walking down the street, dude. That's what it looks like over there.
Dude, trying to get anything done around here. Like I'm like celebrating, I think, almost 2 years from not going down to the area down there.
I got a parking ticket 3 years ago. I still haven't paid from down there.
It's fucking like, it's like at first when we first moved in here, dude, all the time. Like it was like, oh, you get done with a hard day of work. Like what's better than like we got
down the street.
Fucking party town right here. And it's like now it's just like, oh, I gotta go home. Like right it's like 5 o'clock hits. I'm the fuck out of here.
So is the best place to party around here? Is it Old Scottsdale or some shit? Or
so Old Town's super popular. Like I don't really go out there a whole lot. It's a pretty young scene. I live in Gilbert, so we got like downtown Gilbert's there, but like I live in a predominantly like Mormon area. So
for real?
Yeah, it's like super like family oriented. Yeah. So that helps me. It keeps me on track as far as doing the dad thing, you know, and doing everything. But Tempe's fun out here. So we're in Tempe right now. But yeah, dude, like I don't know. I'm getting older now anyway. So
how old are you now?
I'm gonna be 35 this year.
Nice, man. Yeah. You know, I kind of wanted to bring it up, but I didn't want to do it in a bad way because we kind of touched on it and stirred just a little bit about. And some of your posts on your personal page have been a lot geared towards getting back healthy and shit like that.
Right.
And it's crazy because I didn't realize how fat I got. Right. because you don't see.
Sucks.
Yeah, dude. It's like you just get into this groove of working and like the hustle of like what's the next paint job, what's the next product, what are you doing?
Right.
It becomes so like out of sight, out of mind, and it's on you, and you see yourself every day. But for some reason, I see myself in the mirror as like, oh yeah, still fuck me. Yeah. But then you catch one glimpse when you're not in the morning and you're not sucking it in. You're like, fuck, man, my wife still fucks me, and I look like that. Like,
right, dude. I know. Like, I started seeing some stuff like Nicole catch me like in her stories or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I look back at them, and it's not me like taking my own pictures on Instagram, and I'm like, oh my god, like I almost lost respect for her. Like I was like, I can't believe you fucked that dude. So after a while, like I was just like, I started getting really slow at everything, and the more that we were traveling and partying and stuff like that, I took a 6-month break from booze.
Really?
And this year, and dude, like when I saw you in Sturgis, actually, like I just started drinking again, probably like a week or two before that. So I took like a 6-month reset just to kind of just to get back on a healthy kick, like my liver wasn't doing great. I could tell like my creativity wasn't there. We're getting to the point where we could only make cool shit if we're super fucked up. And so it was like, that's what got to be our thing. Like we'd be here till 4:00 in the morning creating just to be creative, but it's like we need fucking X amount of booze and everything else to go fucking with it. So it's like when you start getting to that point, I'm like, how am I gonna last the rest of my life doing this? I can't fucking do this anymore, and it's like that's the only way we can come creative with the fucking shirts or with the names and everything else. So I was really scared of it, to be honest with you, because I was like, I didn't know, like, are we gonna lose our luster? Like it's like when like Metallica goes sober and like their next album fucking sucks. Like are we gonna do that? And so it was been a journey this year, man. Is I'm down like 45 pounds now, and we work out every day. I got 3 of my guys that work out with me daily. We have way more meetings. I read a lot more. I got to take this shit seriously now, man. Yeah. And it's like, now it's like, I think for a long time we were chasing money and we're chasing the wrong ideas, Yeah. And you get to this point where you're like, you figure it out. You figure a couple things out that work, and you're like, okay, like now making the money is a little bit easier. And then you like get to this point, like now I tell my guys all the time is like, our journey now is like hacking our brains. Like how the fuck can we pull more out of our brains? Like more creativity, being stronger, being faster, processing times, being better to the customer, being nicer, like, because when you start feeling better about yourself, you naturally like, now you're like moving at a faster speed. You're fucking, everything you do is better. So I like basically have gotten to the point with my whole staff that like what I tell them is like, focus on yourself, and if you become the best version of yourself, I'm gonna win in the end, because my staff is gonna be filled with people that you're gonna kill it at everything you do, And so like that's been like it's a weird fucking thing. It's probably boring for people to hear that, but it's true,
the proof's in the pudding, though. I mean, like I even mentioned to you in Sturgis, I thought that was really fucking awesome what you did for Justin with the car. And I've always known Justin was like right hand man around here.
Yep.
And it just, we were kind of touched on this when we walked in about how, like, when you're at a position where you're at, taking care of your employees and making them care as much about Dixxon Flannel as you do, that's your job to do that. Like you have to create that want for your employees. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And dude, in our industry, like, or I mean, I should say motorcycle industry. I still consider motorcycle industry my own. And like, even though we kind of drift in and out of it these days, but like, that's where I'm from. So it's like, so I kind of like, all the people that I still talk to for the most part are still part of this and everything. And you come from an industry that you're underappreciated, man. Like me and Justin both worked at Harley, so it's like we know that, we know how that is. And those guys that sell our flannels out there, the Harley dealerships, the coolest part about it is that we're able to tell them like, hey, dude, like you don't have to tell me what it's like. Like I know what it's like. And to be treated like a number or whatever. There's a lot of awesome dealerships out there too.
Yeah.
But it's like, you get this small amount of people that, like, say 3% of the population ride motorcycles, right?
Yeah.
So we get to this point that we're all like fighting over this money in this small circle, and it's like it brings out the fucking worst in a lot of us, man. And it's crazy. And in the night before I got to Sturgis, when we were in Mitchell, South Dakota, I was sitting down with Carrie and Big B, and who else was there? Jake Barnstorm.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Oh shit! I didn't even know he was out there. Fuck.
Yeah, it was rad, dude. He took off that night after that, so he didn't make it all the way.
He rode
Sturgis.
with Big B. And,
he did like the whole week before
That's
that.
Right, yeah.
And I had just gotten back from Boston and doing a whole thing with his crew like a week or two before that too, and. Dude, like we were fucking amped to be there. There was fucking 5,000 people there that were stoked to see us. And I was kind of going through this weird low where I was like, I'm stressed out by like meeting people everywhere I go. You know, it's like, I'm not that guy. Like I was never the guy that was supposed to be the face of the brand. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like the behind the scenes creative is like really more of my space. And I think that people are surprised about that today because of what I do as far as podcasts and all the other shit, but it burns me out, man. Like it just fucking stresses me the fuck out. What
probably stresses you out the most about it? Because I kind of have the same kind of. I don't really like being in the limelight of the business, but I'm a fucking one man show, so it's like.
Yes, you have to.
What the fuck am I gonna do?
It's hard. You can only say we did this so many times, and you're talking about you. Know? Or like you don't know how that is, and then like you have these people that are so in love with what you do online, and are you gonna meet up to their expectations when really you could just stay home and just keep on doing what the fuck you're doing that's working.
They like you already for.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just hard. It's this weird expectation. And Kerry put it to me fucking perfect. He was like, "Yo." The day that people stop asking to take their picture with me, the day that people stop asking me for my autograph, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
He's like, I give every single person that time, every time. And he's right. With a smile every time. He's one of the fucking best at it. Mm-hmm. And I texted my team that night. Like when I was talking about this, and I was like, fuck, that's what I need to hear. And because like these people, like they love what you do. They love what we do, like the product that we put out as a team. And they just want to like meet what's behind it. There's not like it's some expectation they're going to fucking hate you for it. But I think that that's what you're afraid of.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we already know that like you're a phenomenal fucking painter. And we know that everyone likes your shit. Everyone likes the shit that they hear on here. But then you get in front of people and you start feeling like, well, what if, I don't know, what if I offend someone? What if I lose my paycheck because there's no safety net when some people don't like us, like this shit goes away.
Yeah. Like I was telling you, man, like you say some wrong shit on here and the Patreon numbers jump drastically. Like,
oh yeah.
It's a direct correlation. But the thing about me is that like, I guess the thing that I get anxiety about whenever I'm meeting people is, I don't necessarily have the same energy when I'm standing in a bike parking lot or on a bike ride or at Sturgis. Like I don't really have this energy they hear on the podcast. I'm like in a different place. Right. Or I don't know, man. Like I'm trying to replicate that is a weird thing. And this is the part that like a lot of wives don't understand this. And a lot of the people on the other side, the end goal receiver, like they don't understand it either. That like, it's not like you think you're a rock star, but you're almost living somewhat of that life, because when you go out somewhere and it's 10 nights in a row that you got to do that show, people expect you to be on it every fucking night. And if you're not that guy that on a Tuesday night you can't turn up and be who they see you as, then you're the asshole that might have just skipped that one person because you're trying to get your shit together and you fucking slept in a hotel, not in your bed for the fucking 10th night in a row and slept for 3 hours and like you're still trying to be the best, I meet guys like Dump Truck and I see his enthusiasm and energy and how he just is like on all the time. Dude, and I'm like, how the fuck are you this
freak
guy?
Of fucking nature. That guy just rules at it. Like he's just so good at it.
You meet guys like that and you want to have that kind of energy and positive vibe all the time. And like you commented on one of my posts the other day, and I was it was Monday last week, and I was just down, man. I fucking was driving to work. I wasn't even at work yet, and I was just like, fuck, man, like, no health care, none of that shit, and like 11 years as a self-employed guy, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I was just in a bad place.
I remember that now, yeah.
And and then it's like. I'm that guy too sometimes, you know what I mean? Like where I'm kind of like fucking depressed in some kind of weird way, just trying to figure out like, is it going to come to fruition? Is it going to like turn into something or blossom something? Or is it going to be another 11 years of like chasing to the next level that doesn't feel like anything different than the last one?
Right.
So it's a lot of shit. I actually touched something on it. Wasn't supposed to.
Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm a handsy guy. Like I gotta.
I remember you posting that, and so I said, I think I said perception is everything.
Yeah.
And what I said. So, because dude, I go through the same shit. So, and a lot of times with my podcast or my Instagram feed, I guess is what I use the most. I think like some people would think that I'm trying to like feel sorry for myself when I post some shit, but then a lot of people see that what I'm trying to do is show that like this is not fucking roses and fucking all good times, you know? Like there's a lot of shit that's gone out, and what I struggled with the most was like, dude, I'd be like looking up like clothing failures, clothing company like fucking burnouts, like what you know, like trying to find those stories that aren't out there. You can't find them because no one was like really being truthful about it. And so I wanted to be truthful about the business. So not everyone goes out there and is like, that's rad. Look, he's got a nice car. I want to start a t-shirt business. And it's like, no, dude, like fucking, they fail more than fucking bars do.
Yeah.
You know, and bars are already like number one failing like fucking company you can get, or the type of industry you can get into.
Well, I was gonna bring that up actually, man. Like, you know, you don't want to be that chick on Instagram or Facebook that's just like putting all your shit out there in like this depressing way, right? But so I think naturally we tend to post more of the better things that are going on, you know, because we don't, you know what I mean? Like we
it's
don't
a highlight reel.
Yeah, we don't want fucking. I don't want a whole bunch of people feeling sorry for me, but it does when you only put out the good shit. Then at some point it's like, fuck, man, like. You know, I want to tell these people because for some weird reason now, I feel like this audience is like a friend that I'm talking to sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck, they support you better than most of your good friends anyways, probably.
Yeah, so you just, I don't know, man. Like I'm just, like I want to tell them like, hey, you know, like this is what's been going on in life, you know, but also at the same time, I don't want to say it because I want people to like try to give me handouts or think I'm asking for something for free or whatever. Yeah. But you're trying to be that really truthful and honest fucking brand or person or whatever it is, and like I feel like I'm not as honest because I don't share that kind of shit, or I don't put it out there as much as maybe I should, or if I don't write a good story behind it.
You know, I guess it's like it's a tough way of expressing it, like the right way, you know, and being like, hey, check it out. And the other thing is, not everyone has that dimension to them, like that depth, I guess I should say, to be able to look at that and be like, fuck, that took a lot to say that, or like, hey, I never thought about it that way, you know, because people are like, they want to see the fucking highlight reel, and they're like, dude, that. You fucking made it, or you got this, or you got that, and you're like, fuck, you're like, I still work 18 hours a day. Like, I'm still trying to figure it out. How do I do this, you know? And what you see is these cracks of sunshine in the middle of all that, you know, and where it's like, yeah, you were outside with your kids today at 2:00, and it's like, yeah, for a window of 2 to 2:20, and then I ran back inside, and like, you know, like, hold on, I gotta take fucking 12 calls, you know, but it's great. It's a great way to show people sometimes that there has to be truth to that. And the reason why I really tried it, because and like I was saying before when I was looking it up, is because I wanted to know, am I the only motherfucker going through this shit? Yeah. Like I don't know if I could do this. Like I don't know if I keep going. You know,
a lot of older brands of across a lot of different industries, they don't use social media for that. Like, and that's one thing that I think that I do really like about this brand is that it has a relatable, personable side to it, as opposed to like you're never gonna see PM like being very personal on their shit. Maybe Rolling Sands, but not even really.
Like transparency was not the game because I think because when you grow up into marketing is like, you know, it's sales retention, or it's like, you know, grab and fish and pull in, you know, and doing it in a more organic way and being like, hey, like this is storytelling, you know? Yeah. And it's like, it's not fake storytelling. It's like, it's story time. This is where we come from. And then, you know, here's sale. We got to do that. It's a business, you know? And then, hey, guess what? Just a reminder, this is who we are. This is what we do. Blah, 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 you know? Yeah. We sell to people who ride bikes because we ride fucking bikes. You know, we sell dudes that drive fucking ridiculously lowered trucks because we do the same shit, you know? And like that kind of thing. And it's like, I don't think that I ever set out to do that. It just felt right. Yeah. Because, well, actually, I'll tell you why. And it was kind of touches on what you were talking about earlier. I was so sick of like, of being like wanting to project myself as bigger when it was just me and being embarrassed by it. Cause it's like, dude, I'm the one guy at the fucking tent selling the shit. Yeah. And then like trying to like, what am I gonna say? Like everyone else is at home, you know? It's like it's just me still. I'm just this guy in my garage. And if they find out something they don't like about me, they're not gonna buy it because they're gonna find out that my brand is me when it could actually be more. And so like today it exists as like the brand isn't me and it's not about me. And I might have different ideals and stuff than the other people here and stuff like that. So it's not like they're buying it because of me. And so when that day came that I could be fucking like open about it and be like, you know what? I'm never hiding anything again. I want you guys to see everything. Yeah. We went through the fucking ringer over and over again on like, you know, the way that we started out with retagging flannels or the way we started out with blanks, stuff like that, that once that fucking whole thing got lifted, I wanted to be like, I want to show you everything. You could see anything. Yeah. So you could walk in here at any time and what you think is probably the same exact thing that's happening. Yeah. And you can just test it. And then that way we're never like, it naturally makes it so that nobody here can act like a rock star. No one here can act like anything else than what they are. And they're just a fucking dirtbag riding a motorcycle and getting their kicks off, you know, getting their fucking rocks off of riding scooters and dumb shit like that. Yeah. You know, it's like, and that's who we're going to be the whole time. So, you know,
it's really cool how you basically built a working class product that was cool to us, you know, bikers, you know, C10 or just truckers and lowrider guys. Like, even though we're all in different genres of like customizing shit, it's still a very similar culture.
Oh yeah,
around.
We all share the common disease.
Yeah, spending money on shit.
Yeah, can't leave anything alone.
So, you know, like, how do you see yourself going forward though? Like, I mean, as you're growing older, as the things that you like and do change, I mean, is that your fucking Tesla out there? Like, how do you customize that?
Okay, so the funny thing is, like, I mean, it's still the same. It's a different medium. It's things that, like, I mean, we have things now that I never dreamt of being able to have. I mean, I dreamt of it. That's for damn sure. But like, didn't think that could happen. You know, but like, say like the Tesla, for example, I drive that because I could put it on auto drive on the way here and I get more work done. I'm like, I press a button and as long as like I'm in one lane, it'll pretty much take me all the way home. And so in the morning, by the time I get here, I have 30 minutes of emails done already. Damn. And it's like, so I can't even get a different car at this point because it's like,
You're accustomed to it.
Yeah, I'm accustomed to that and having that time in my schedule. So then what it allows me to do is, like, I used to stay here fucking late every night. And so now, like, I straight up work like a 9 to 5, even though I never wanted to be a 9 to 5 guy. And now on my way to work, I get shit done. On the way home, I get done. And if I get the right amount of stuff done on my way home, then it affords me like 2 hours with the kids, you know, where I could like get away from my phone. And then I will still put in usually an hour or two before I go to bed. And just so it's not overwhelming in the morning, you know? Yeah. But to answer your question, I think what you're asking is that, like, the thing is that nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is it's allowing us to do it on different mediums. And so it's like, I mean, I didn't think that we'd ever be able to afford to get like a 59 fucking Impala.
What year was that thing, by the way?
It was 59.
Yeah, the one for just said it.
the one for Nicole. Yeah, is like the fucking unicorn one. Those things are stupid, like just hard to find right now. And of course, that's her taste is that fucking year. Yeah. But it's cool. I've always wanted one in the garage.
It's got one of the sickest back end. And I actually, the first time I ever went to SEMA, I did panels on the whole top side of one of those.
Dude, that top panel's got to be like, that's a painter's wet dream, dude.
Yeah, because the lines on that fucking thing are just made for painters, dude. Like that. I think cars like that in that era is what made custom paint a cool thing. It just, you know what I mean? The late.
Absolutely.
Early 60s and shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, well, I was talking to, there's this guy, Sam, and he's found my last couple Impalas, and he's a phenomenal dude in California. It's like his side hustle. He's a union dude during the day. Just a rad fucking blue collar dude, you know? And we connected over cars, really. And so, I'll kind of tell him like what I'm looking for, and I'd like to find it and be a California car, you know. So he knows what to look for, and I know that his attention to detail is just ridiculous. And what we were talking about was we're looking at, you know, because I got a 59 and I got two 64s, and then like Marco's got a 63. And when you look at it, you're like, dude, that's when car makers they had to be on their shit. Like, they're on their fucking, like, you know, you look at a 59 to a 60 and then a 60 to a 61, like every year they're coming out with full on like new package. Like that thing is like completely different car. Yeah. You know, it's none of this like fucking 4 or 5 years of Harley. It's the same thing.
Yeah, new paint scheme.
Still like 20 years behind. But
software update.
I know. I'm always like, my radio is fucking now going out like every 10 minutes, which means that I have to get a software update. I don't even fucking know how to do that.
I don't either.
I have to like go to the dealer and be like, can you put one of those fucking thumb drives in? Like, you know, and like fix this shit.
You know what's crazy? One of the dudes that I used to fly to North Carolina to paint bikes for, he's a big Impala. Like he has a couple 58s, 59s. Like he 64 and down, it's all he collects. And he'd always fuck with me because my favorite year is a 65. And that's like the year that, like the cutoff year where nobody likes 65 and newer. Right. It's all 58 to 64s. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like I just fell in love with those like circle tail lights in the back on that. I don't know. It's cool shit, but.
That's the best part about customizing, dude. It's like there is no wrong and there's no right. And there's like, it's funny because like with some of my friends, like say Danny G, for example, I hate it because like our taste in things is very similar. Yeah. And so it like kind of poses a competition in everything that gets done, and that's a fucking hard motherfucker to like compete with. You know, I don't want to compete with, but like, you know, like he likes 54s, like he likes fucking 62s, he likes 64s, he likes the same era fucking C10s. You know, it's the same shit, and we, you know, like road glides and blah blah blah, and it's great as having like, you know, it's like one of your like, it's like an older brother type mentor, but like there's just this thing with customization, and there's like everyone has their own like taste, and then sometimes you click with people that have like just the same exact shit as you know, like just like all their cars are your favorite cars, and like you know, same thing with bikes and shit like that.
Yeah, I get it, man. Because I mean, fuck, dude. Like, I there's a plethora of fucking bike builders that have like a collection that I'd you know, probably do some illegal shit for. Yeah, and,
right. And like you look at the whole thing, you're like, dude, that shovel head, that knuck right there. Yeah. And then that one perfect year Dyna, and then he's got a fucking dope ass road glide. You're like that. Yeah, like I would take that exact setup. The green garage. Yeah, you know, that's the last couple of years. I think that's what's bummed me out with motorcycles. To be honest with you, is that it's like there's so much good shit out there that right now, if I went through, you go through Born Free and you're on fucking overload, and at the end you're walking by bikes that would be the sickest fucking bike in a parking lot at a bike night, but you just walk right past it. It doesn't even fucking matter. Yeah. Everything's custom painted now, you know, and everything's like, it's just fucking at an incredible time right now where the good part about it is that painters are getting hired because nobody was fucking painting Dynas like that 10 years ago except for the Bay Area. Yeah. In my opinion. That might piss some people off, but that's what I think. SoCal had
a little bit going on. I mean, that's where Schultz and them were originally painting some of the bikes back in the day, was in like the... You know,
they're kind of like, you know, they're close to Bay Area though, like a little bit more than SoCal, but it's like I mean, all of our bikes were black, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the style of bikes were so different from like this is big wheel bagger capital of the world. I liked your post the last couple of days with the skate ramp on the back.
Last couple of followers on that one.
You know, there's it's just you know, like this was the hub for that, and I think we were kind of touching on it earlier about the kind of the cutthroatness of stuff, and a lot of it has to do with right now in this industry, it's not as bad right now because there's not a guaranteed money pit bike, right? Like a big wheel or the fat tire chopper for, you know, 15 years ago. Oh yeah. Right now it's kind of like, it's like money in like volume. So you know, like someone will drop 10 grand in a dyno all over the place, but that's 10 grand, you know, once you buy parts, and that's not a big paycheck for a shop. You know what I mean? No. It's a big sum of money for you to throw at a bike, but for bike shops and overheads and things like that, it's just not a lot of money. You know what I mean?
It's not, which is actually the sad part. And I think like a lot of people don't understand that because they don't understand that the product margins they're working on in the beginning, like you talk to any really businessman, they're like, dude, I wouldn't do business in anything that only had like, you know, anything less than 50, 60 points. Fuck that. Damn. Like bike shops are working, like they're selling parts that have 30 to 40 points in them. You know, and then,
on a good day.
Yeah, and on a good day. And those are like their favorite ones to sell. Yeah. And then you factor in all their overhead costs and everything else. Dude, it's a and then you factor in on top of that you motherfuckers are beating them up over Amazon prices. Yeah. You know, it's like It's crazy for them right now.
It's
hard, man.
It really is going to be a strange world in the next 5 to 10 years in the motorcycle world. I know that it'll survive in some form or fashion.
Right.
But the things that I was used to being 36, going on 37 next weekend, the things that I grew up in and the things that now I'm living through, you know, like I saw the transition from, you know, being a brick and mortar store to going to bike nights or going to bike events and advertising and having business cards to where people don't really carry business cards anymore. They just, hey, here's my Instagram or here's my Facebook or my web. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like, it's a much different world that, you know, hell, I was sitting at a bar last night with an old biker dude that's fucking 70 plus years old. And he was just telling me stories about some of his stuff. And I'm like, man, like that's a world that like, I didn't experience, and I know anybody out here right now that's coming along is never going to experience.
I fucking love talking to those dudes.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking awesome.
It's hard when you get done talking to them because it gives you a new perspective on things.
Yeah.
But it also like frustrates you. You want to like shake people a little bit and be like, "Yo, wake up! Like we got this cool thing going on here." And like if we can get people to stop beefing a little bit and start,
I feel like it's gone away. I mean, I could be wrong.
I think it's a little bit lower than it has been than it was like a couple years ago. It was getting pretty cutthroat, dude.
I felt like goddamn Arizona in the big wheel crisis. I felt like Arizona was goddamn, you know, fucking Compton and Inglewood.
Fucking Wild West out here, dude.
It was like, you know, this shop and this shop, they're, you know, like, oh my God, it was just, and then that shit spread across the country, and then all the tribalism comes into play, and like everybody's this team and that team, and it was I had to leave it, man, because none of it was about riding bikes. It was just about, you know, who had the biggest, you know, wheel or the longest bags or the loudest stereo. Which
it got intense. I was talking. So when I was out in Mitchell with Clockworks, I was talking to them about it because I couldn't believe we just went into a town of fucking 15,000 people, and they have 5,000 people at that thing.
Yeah,
it was one of the coolest events that I've ever gone to, and it was at the Corn Palace. And like here I am thinking I'm just gonna go this total dud. Like I was like, why am I going to this thing?
Yeah,
but I'm like, these guys are phenomenal people. I'll go. And like, if Brian's asking me to go, fuck it. I will jump on a plane, stop what I'm doing. I will go out there. And then like a week before that, he like kind of failed to mention that, you know, this whole time in planning that I was going to be riding from there to Sturgis, you know, 5-6 hours. Like, I was like, okay, so I'm riding like not my bike, you know, just like through whatever fucking weather Sturgis decides to have. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
And, but anyways, I get out there and I see these 5,000 people. What me and Carrie were just talking about, where it's like, this is fucking crazy. Like I was like, I know where I'm from. Like Phoenix, we have more than enough people to have something like this, and this could never happen.
Yeah.
It wouldn't happen. You know, you couldn't put like this many motorcycle enthusiasts and hot rodders and stuff together to have this same turnout. Yet they do that in this small town where they, you know, they're so together and it's so core. And it was really eye opening, dude. Like
it has to be a lot to do with just Brian and the business that he's created over the years, and you know what I mean. Like he's definitely one of the people in the industry that is putting so much back into it, and like really like every time I see this man, every time SEMA, Daytona, Sturgis, he shakes my hand, he has a smile on his face. Jace, how are you doing, man?
Yep,
that last bike you did is badass, man. Like he's an ambassador for this industry, man, and
he absolutely is. You know, I think that a long time, I wouldn't say I dismissed him or anything. I think I just didn't really think about the depth of what he really did, you know? And like, I always thought he was a phenomenal dude. You know, it seemed like he was a great dude. I love their company. I love everything that they did. Like, I grew up watching them, you know, but I didn't ever think about that. And when I really got into here with him and I was doing podcasts with him and leading up to it and then like working with him after and everything, fuck, dude, like my whole world was turned around on it. Like, I was like, it's one of those things where you look at it as a youngster and you're like, I want to be more like that guy. You know, like I thought that I wanted to be more like someone else. But, you know, I thought I wanted to be a fucking rock star. But what I want to be is that guy that everyone's able to say, that's a phenomenal dude. Yeah, he makes sure that everybody gets paid. Yeah. You know, he doesn't just make sure that he's like the best. He makes sure that like all the dots connect. Everyone's happy. Everyone's having a good fucking time. The products are legit. The service is legit. He thinks about all those things before making his company look like it's massive. Yeah. You know?
And I mean, killer. You just said what it is. It's like, you know, he could pull a town of 15,000, 5,000 people out there. Yeah. You know, I mean, that's a respect and a legacy, if anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's, and I mean, might as well bring up just the unfortunate events with the flooding and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like watching those videos is like heartbreaking, dude. Like just seeing all the memories on the wall, the bikes that's been built, and all the stuff that you're doing to help them out. I mean, that shit's fucking awesome,
dude. And there's like, that's another thing that kind of like ties into what we were talking about with Instagram and shit like that earlier, is like the transparency is like, there's some people out there that would say like, why would you, if you do something cool, like why do you need to put it out there for everyone to see or whatever? And it's like, why? Because it might inspire other people to do the same shit, you know? And like, and it feels fucking weird to do it. It feels a little bit dirty, but it's like, the thing is like in that flood, like we had wholesaled to them $40-something thousand worth of stuff that was all fucking lost in the flood.
Damn.
And so basically, what we did, we were like, all right, like, you know how it is. When you own a business, you turn yourself into like your crisis averter. Like your main job is like, instead of complaining about anything, you have to immediately think about like how to fix it.
Yeah.
And so
those are the kind of people that get to that position in life to do those kind of things.
Exactly. Like you don't have time to fucking think about it. I don't have time to ask why or this or whatever. I'm just like, how the fuck do I fix this? Yeah. How do we make this bad fucking experience into something phenomenal, and that's what we do here every day. It's like, that's what we do. And so I immediately was just like, I pulled in Justin and I was like, yo, this is what I think we're gonna do. Let's wipe the invoice and we're gonna fucking just like, let's get out there and be honest about this shit, sell as many finals as we can so that we could recoup. Like, if we could fucking just walk away from this thing and we'll be okay, then make sure their invoice goes away and that they don't miss it. And then all the stuff that's like affected by it, they could go and wash it and they could sell it later at like, say, half rate and call it like a history piece, and it's like someone's gonna buy it and like they're gonna be stoked because they're gonna be like, this one, this shit got flooded.
5 years from now, they're gonna be worth so much money. Dude, he's got one of those fucking flood flannels.
He's got the flood flannel. And it was like only $30 or something. So we told him like, hey, keep those, and then you guys sell them and keep that too. So hopefully, like in the end, it'll end up making up for like $75,000 going to these guys, because the fucking insurance, I don't think, is going to cover a flood.
Dude, yeah.
So, there was a couple people, maybe 2 or 3, out of like hundreds and hundreds that hit us up. 2 or 3 people that were actually like, well, why don't they have insurance? Well, why don't they this? Why don't they that? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, what if this? What if that? And it's like, how the fuck does your mind work that way that you're not immediately like, what can I do? And it's like, and that's where it shows you the difference in people with community and everything.
Why would they even bring that up and make it a public post?
I have no idea.
That's the kind of shit that drives me nuts sometimes.
It drives me nuts too, dude.
Like,
I hate that it.
If you want to ask your buddy, like, hey, me and you are sitting around a bar, like, man, you see this shit with, and you want to bring it up then, like, well, I wonder if he has insurance, but to put it on like Front Street like that, that's just
like, that's the first thing that you think of,
that's some hoe shit,
like,
man.
Because then they're like, then you're like, why? Like, just, are you saying like we're giving them money plus they're gonna get like reimbursed? So you think that they're trying to skim the system? Like, look, their life fucking work is underwater right now. They're like with 6 fucking bikes in there that are like incredible bikes.
Yeah, and so they were celebrating something recently, like, what was it, 20 years? What were y'all talking about on the podcast?
Yeah, I think it's like 20
or 30 years,
25
something
years.
Like 25, I think it was. And obviously this shit ain't happened before. Yeah. It ain't like they built it in Houston, which is also flooding every fucking year now. Yeah. It's like, this is a complete accident, fluke thing that took place, man. Right. It's not like a known place to flood and things like that.
Absolutely,
shit
man.
happened, man.
And the crazy thing is like you see the parts and it's sad. You see the finals, it's sad, whatever. But like you see some irreplaceable things that were like, someone like Brian, like he's come up from nothing.
Yeah.
And he's like clawed his way through this motorcycle industry, and to be honest with you, like guys his age, like they were a little bit more involved as far as building the motorcycle industry. It was not like it was there like for us.
Yeah.
Like we came to it and it's like, I want to do this and I want to be a part of this, They had to build a lot more of that. And like that shit wasn't on TV before them.
Yeah.
That shit was not like fucking, like the customization bug was not out there. They paved the way. A lot of the things that they do paved the way for our generation. And there's mementos along the way that are lost in a time like that are just fucking, I can't even imagine, dude.
Yeah.
And that's got to be really hard, but it's, but like the positivity in that team. So like when I was out there with them, they get to, I'm not like super religious person, but they're pretty religious and they get together in the morning and they like every morning, the whole team gets together. They talk about, this is what we're going to do. This is what we have on the agenda for today, blah, blah, blah. And they all pray together. And I was like, I was moved by it, dude. Like I was in there with them, and they like were thankful that I was there with them and everything. We were getting ready to go on a ride. They kind of wanted to like bless the, to protect us and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And the way that they approached their team building, I was really fucking impressed. And it was really personable. And in the next day and a half or whatever, I got to really know like a lot of their teams. And dude, it shines through from the top that there is an outstanding leader up there. They also like, they're just people that each one of them had like different shit that they loved about the industry. You got this guy that's just diehard fucking shovelhead guy. Yeah. And just this cool older motherfucker that is like, that has all the stories in the world, you know?
So you met Gene up there, right?
Yeah.
Dude, Gene used to work at Rick Ferris's and Strokers in Dallas.
No shit.
So I met him years ago when I first got in the industry doing work with Rick Ferris when I would paint bikes and stuff. And he's always been a solid dude. And he moved up there and worked with Brian for the last like 8 to 10 years, I think now.
Yeah.
He's a solid dude too, man.
When you talk to people and they're like, yeah, I've been here for fucking, anywhere between, I think like the guy that I talked to that has been there the least is because he was young as fuck. Yeah. But like, other than that, it's like anywhere between 6 and 15 years, you're like, holy shit. That shows like that's a good place to land, you know?
So on that note, you know what I mean? Like there are companies that you can, as like a worker, as like a regular guy or just person, you can go get a job there and you could stay there and you could provide and work for this company for years. Like when you listen to a lot of people, it's like the only way that everybody seems to talk or think now is like you have to go be an entrepreneur, start your own business. Right. It's like, unfortunately, like, we all can't be chiefs, man. Like the world runs on Indians, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
So like when you have good companies like that, and obviously like what you got going on here, it's like maybe they need some fucking self-help books for fucking how to be a great employee.
Right. Right. So like, I totally agree. And so a lot of times, like in my own reading, I stay away from some of the entrepreneur ones because a lot of the models that are out there, I feel are dead. But like right now, so I have my top department head guys. And the reason why I say department heads is because when we move into this new building, I have to build a customer service team. And we actually have to become a real company now. It's fucking weird. We actually have
have a human resources.
Yeah. They have like HR. Yeah. And like it's gotten to the point where like I can't just help them pack orders every day. So so my department heads, I put together a reading list, and so every Tuesday we get together and I just require them. I'm like, give me 5 pages a day. Read 5 pages a day. Usually ends up being about 2 chapters. And then every Tuesday we can go over what we read. And like we did Unfuck Yourself. Right now we're reading Stop Doing That Shit. And they're mostly like, it's like personal things. And it kind of goes back to that health thing I was talking about earlier. It's like just telling them like, dude, just let's fucking figure out how you can be the best that you can be. Yeah. And I'll try to figure out how to be the best that I could be because I'm the most fucked up out of all you guys, Yeah. And then from there, like, you're it's some of the same basics as being an entrepreneur, but like instead of like telling these people like, hey, you have to go out and do this and you have to do that, it's like be a self-starter, be this, be that, and be all these things because you are an entrepreneur and you can like as long as you like are able to show your value inside of this company, then there's companies that could not fucking run at all had it not been for you. You know, I couldn't fucking live without Justin. No fucking way. Yeah. But my tie to certain things is much different than his. And my style of doing things or my or I'll put it this way, like he didn't even have a picture of himself, I don't think, anywhere on his Instagram. Like he's not that guy. He's not. He also doesn't give a fuck about talking to you about his life, really. Yeah. Unless you put him on a podcast here and there. Yeah. So it's like there's things that I'm good at and things that he's good at, and then Marco's the same way. He's really good at shit that I can't even fucking do because I can't pay attention for long enough. Yeah. And so it is good for everyone to realize that not everyone's supposed to do that.
Well, one of the best things about becoming your own boss is to learn how to be a good employee. Oh yeah. Like you have to learn, to me, I feel like if you can't outwork your employer, then maybe you shouldn't be trying to think about being your own boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
You outwork the fucking place you're at and realize that you can do more with what you are putting into this place, and they just don't have the opportunities for you or whatever. Then think about being your own boss. But the other thing is I wanted to ask you about is like you said, you've been wearing these new hats. Like, do you feel like every time you start paying attention to one new aspect of this type of business or this type of role that you play in the business, do you feel like you lose some of the swag or some of the step in the other area, and you kind of like playing this balance act with all these different roles and shit, you know?
Yes. And maybe not even so much the roles, but even like
if you focus on marketing, then does design fall off?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I've kind of learned the balance in all of it, and it's like now I know where my deadlines are, where I have to be and everything, because I'm still like our head of design. I still touch everything that leaves here, you know, and I still like can't, you know, I still like come up with most of those ideas, you know. I do have a phenomenal art guys, but they're like, they call it executing my vision is what it is. And at some point, I would rather it not be that way, you know, so we can like collaboratively work together. And sometimes it is like that, but a lot of times it's not. And so there are times when that lacks, because if that train's not rolling into the station and that creativity ain't coming, it fucking ain't coming. You know how that, you know, that's
exactly.
Like, you can't just go in and paint every fucking day. You don't know whether it's going to hit or not. And then when you can, like, you like text your wife and you're like, I'm fucking not coming home.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's finally here.
Yeah.
But, you know, what I do notice that lacks when we have, so like our marketing has become much more vanilla, and like it's not so edgy. I can't say whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if I piss off corporate fucking, you know, accounts, like we're fucked. If I have to toe an edge or a line a little bit more than I ever wanted to.
What was the old plan with the glass and the Dixxon spelled out in Coke?
Oh, dude.
For show class?
Oh, man.
You never ran that one, though, did you?
No, we got in a lot of trouble for that shit. Like, our big corporate accounts were like, yo, you fucking roll that out, you're done.
Yeah.
We're done. And I'm like, it's not even Coke, dude. Like, it's fucking, go on. It's like, me and Chris Jones talked about doing that ad for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And we're like, it was so rad if Dixxon spelled out Coke and there's fucking weed everywhere and shit. And like, dude, that's how like old school David Mann paintings look like they would be right next to something like that.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
They're like, that's the rad shit. And we're like, it's about freaking out the squares anyways. Like, this motorcycle thing is supposed to be fucking fun, and it's supposed to be fucking wild and free, and that's why we're here. You know, and it's like, then we did that and we got shut the fuck down quick. And like quicker than I thought, actually.
Yeah.
And like basket case and fucking what's it called? Show class, like they were just laughing, like they're like, this is fucking awesome. If you guys want to run it, let's roll, dude. Like this is even like turning our heads a little bit, you know, and like fuck. It was so cool.
Yeah, I miss that magazine,
dude. Yeah. Because it's, you know, it's one of those things that we used to get so stoked about doing ads for them, because we're like this one time we brought in these strippers and they're like smoking weed and fucking like packing orders and shit.
Yeah.
We could not fucking get away with that today. Like, I mean,
shit, I didn't think about
we
that.
would lose so much money, you know, and it sucks to say that, and it sucks to say that like we have to toe that line. I mean, daily, I'm sure that you read the comments and we shut people the fuck down for being too, you know, telling us what to do, but that's about as far as we can go anymore, you know.
Yeah.
And even then, it's like people just get too offended and stuff. Now with like. Now we're doing more chick stuff and more of the healthy stuff, and then we're doing like more kids stuff. Then like people get bent and they're like, "Yo, like,
so you don't want to
my kids watch this shit," and we're like, "Well, your kids shouldn't be on Instagram for one."
Yeah,
you know, and there's way worse stuff.
Yeah,
trust me, I found it. I don't follow any of those accounts. But it's like, yeah, people get pissed. Like,
well, yeah, I didn't really think about how like you've been branching off into these other spectrums of apparel and things like that, and how that would play with, you know, just the demographic basically. So I'm with you on it, because I didn't think about it. I really thought, I looked at it as like an expression, and like I was looking at like, I want to know more. I want to know how to make everything. You almost can't agree to this shitty lifestyle these kids are going to choose until they're in their 20s. Be like,
right.
Hey, you know, you can't exploit it to them before they do it. You got to kind of just laugh with them after they do it. So it's
right, exactly. And it's like, so a lot of the parents are just like, you know, you guys are supposed to be role models. Like, this is fucking, like, you can't be like that. You guys are fucking pieces of shit.
Does it not feel weird? Like, kind of like we're probably the most edgiest generation, but we're way like I don't let my kids do any of the shit that I did growing up.
Yeah,
like
right.
we're worse than our parents were.
We totally are.
But we like it want like this more free world. That, you know what I mean? It's kind of a real catch-22 there. You know
It really is. You're like, no, I'm gonna be loud and free. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want, and I don't want anyone to fucking tell me what I can do.
Yeah.
And that was just like last year. It's like not like this phenomenal like growing experience or something.
We didn't have like some national tragedy that changed our course of the way we acted and thought. It's
but
just
then like your kids see something, you're like, no, you can't do that. That's far too violent. You know?
Dude, my 18-year-old daughter shares memes, and I'm like, almost like the meme says fuck. So I'm like, did she just cuss?
Yeah. You're like, you might be grounded. You kind of like inadvertently fucking cussed.
It's a weird place, man. Like
it is. It's hard, dude. It's like, you know, so they always say life's about balance. And the thing is it's funny. Most people in the motorcycle industry, one of the biggest challenges that we have is that we're fucking like an industry full of type A's. You know, like we're all fucking gunning for it. We're all like trying to make shit happen. And you come from a place where you kind of have to, you know, it's not just provided for you. So
that makes sense too. Cause I mean, if you think about it, like over the last couple of years, every fucking kid with a damn Dyna and a GoPro is now a moto vlogger.
Yeah.
And then his other buddy that doesn't have a GoPro is the influencer. He's the brand ambassador. So it's like instead of like dudes getting together and going ride bikes and just having a good time and making some stories, it's like it's a film, it's an edit, or it's a shoot.
It's a shoot everywhere. Yeah.
And it kind of wonders if they're even getting the real experience. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of faking it for the gram or for YouTube or whatever. I mean, I can't knock it, right? I get it.
Right.
Maybe it's something that works, but you see it. So I see it so much, even in Dallas, man. Like we're not even a big, you know, Dyna country like, you know, this or fucking Cali is, but 1 out of every 5 Dyna owners is a guy, or riders is a goddamn vlogger. You know what I mean?
No, I completely understand. And for that reason is like we kind of stepped out and said that like, hey, we answer this question every day. We don't sponsor people. I don't have a wheelie team. You're not even gonna find fucking pictures of stunts like on our shit. And it's because like when
Simpson gets shit for that.
When we started, it was like, yo, cool. Like this is what we do because no one else is doing it, you know? But then I also wanted to be the first guy to be like, we're not doing this. I'm not going to do this. And I'm not going to give not everyone's an influencer. I don't want to do that. And I want to protect this shit because the rest of my customers are working their fucking asses off for this shit.
Yeah.
So like for me to pay you or give you a bunch of free shit so you could ride your bike across country, like, motherfucker, sign me up for that shit. I want to ride my bike cross country too. You know, and it's like, and so does every one of my customers. So no, we're not going to jump on that and sponsor that shit, you know? So we just got to the point where like, I don't know. I don't dig it. Like, it's so much more organic if I only just share pictures of our customers.
Yeah.
Like we don't have paid models. We don't have anyone like that. We don't have influencers. We don't have ambassadors. And even most of the people that are on TV wearing our shit and bought it too.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I don't know. I like it. I think it's a cool part of our brand, you know, that keeps it organic. But there's too much of that shit out there. It's like, just kind of like what you're talking about. It's like, then everyone all of a sudden is like, hey, what up, bro? Like,
I got 3,000 followers.
You know, like I got 3,000 followers. So like I could pretty much like make your brand huge. And you're like, oh, awesome.
Well, yeah, I think
can't wait how many people are gonna ask me for free shit from your post.
Yeah, fuck, what is it? I was gonna say something. So the hard thing that I think this industry as a whole, like we haven't even got to the top of like all this ambassador and influencer, and I mean I feel like it's just now hitting the motorcycle market for the most part, and some of us are already tired of it, but I will like play devil's advocate here and say that I do see that some people do a good job at that and actually play their part well, but not everybody can do it. The motorcycle industry is small, and if everybody's an influencer and everybody's getting free shit and everybody's sponsored, then there's no money to be made. There's no industry there.
Right. That's, you know what I mean? No, that's very true. You're completely correct because like some people get it and they take it seriously. Like if I do give something to somebody, like, and it's in hopes of that type of like coverage and that type of return, like, I get it and I think about that. So like when I get sent stuff, if it's something that I could stand behind, I make sure to post it, make sure that it's out there because I feel like people trust my opinion.
Yeah, that's the thing. So,
you know? And so I don't want to call myself an ambassador because that sucks. But
yeah, when you get to a point where like you've earned like your audience's opinion. I mean,
like trust.
There you go. When you've earned that, like, you know, you don't want to be the guy that's one day you're telling the world that it's all about this brake rotor, and then next week when that, you know, that campaign's ran out or something, now it's all about this other one. It's almost like, well, you know, my thing is like I run these brakes and I'm just so happen to have this as a sponsor. You know, he might not be able to afford to sponsor me forever, but these are the brakes that I run. Yeah. You know? So
I think that shit's cheap. I fucking hate when that shit happens. I think
I don't like it. Like
right.
I don't like when people do it for like a paid, like, so, okay, I'm gonna be a Lindahl guy this week, but then, you know, next week fucking, you know, Behringer called me up and they're gonna give me all this shit and pay me to do their stuff. It's like, well, I would love to run their shit and see what it's like.
Right.
I don't want to take the money and just be like, okay, well, how did I just tell everybody that this was a better brake? Maybe I shouldn't have even took that job until I've tried them all.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. I mean, that's a tough spot. It's just like how, you know, like, I didn't listen to that one with Jeff yet. So I don't know if you guys talked about this. I probably shouldn't bring it up, but it's like, it was a hard thing for him when he had to make that transition from hot bike. And, you know, one night he told me, is like, you know, like, it's like, I always knew you're like a fucking little brother to me. It's like, there was no lapse in communication from like hot bike to anything else. Yeah. You didn't even know if I was gonna fucking do anything anymore. I was like, it doesn't matter. You know, it's like, that was just, I mean, that's icing on the cake. Yeah, for sure. I was like, but I still see you as like, you fucking built that brand up for what I, you know, for what I grew up with, you know? And it's not because I need you to post my shit in it. Like, that's not the reason why I'm fucking talking to you. Yeah. You know, I'd talk to you just for, you know,
first time I met Jeff was actually here when you did that party.
Oh, really?
That one party that got shut down real quick.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I met, you know, Jeff, and we hung out and we talked, and then of course that our relationship kind of started from there on out and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that I do miss you doing that stuff though. The parties, like,
that shit was cool.
It was, man. It was just you know, I made a lot of friends on that shit, man. Like Mark. I met Mark on the way. I think I already told this story, but I met him on the way to ride to here.
No shit.
From Dallas.
So that's rad.
He was in Austin. And we were on Facebook, and he's like, hey, man, I put a post up. He put a post up. Anybody riding to the Dixxon Flannel party? Yeah. I'm like, I am. I'm like, all right, we met in Las Cruces, right? And now we've been pretty much best friends ever since. So
that's fucking rad. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
I remember he was taking me to my bike from Harley or something like that. I can't remember why. I think I had to go to get my bike at Spooky Fest or something like that. Yeah. When I still worked at Harley. And I was talking to him, and I was just like really fucking tired or something. And I was talking about something, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've been up all night packing orders and blah blah blah. And he's like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I own this little clothing brand, Dixxon Flannel Company. And he's like, turns around like, what the fuck? That's you? And I'm like, yeah, because I didn't tell everybody about it. Like, it's like working at a motorcycle shop, like, you know. And so he was like, no shit. And him and his chick were just like tripping out, like, you know, and it's funny because it's like, you know, that's when it's still like my side gig and stuff. And so anyways, like, that was how I met Mark too.
What year did you officially start doing the flannels? Like, what year was that?
So we started in 2013. Dixxon started in 2013.
So I bought my first batch of flannels in summer of 2014.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a long time ago, dude.
So I remember because I did the kit, right? I got the Dixxon flannels, and then I was on my way to my wife's from LA, so we were on the way to LA, and we were going to NorCal to paint bikes, and we were going to be up there for a month, just driving. So we went to Espinosa's, and I got fitted for a vest, and then when I got to NorCal, I ordered a couple flannels to go with it.
Nice. Hell yeah. Got the Cali kit?
I got the kit, dude, and then I started wearing Vans a year later. So
you're like, bring on the Vans and the top socks.
Yeah. But you know, at the time, like, I did all the big wheel stuff at the time, and you know, the flannel thing was, you know, in Texas, like, we have much different seasons.
Oh yeah.
I guess you could say we have seasons. It's like hot and cold. It's like
here.
Yeah.
It got hot and cold. That's about it.
So, you know, when we started rocking the flannels, man, like, there wasn't nobody, you know, in that side of the thing that was wearing them. And then, you know, like, it was just cool and different. The colorways, it wasn't like the Dickies shit that you would get at Walmart or the Dickies outlet or something like that. So it was just cool to have something that nobody fucking knew what it was. And it got weird for a while. I'll be honest with you. It got weird when you blew up so much that I can't wear my flannel to anything because it's just going to be especially if you got the brand new one that just dropped and it's like, like you release something Friday and then we all go to a bike event the following Saturday. It's all the same fucking flannel everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of embarrassing, but
that's when people ask like, why are you guys putting out so much shit? And it's like, we got to make sure that like keep you guys wearing different shit. So you have something to choose from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, it's crazy, man. Like, from the outside looking in, I mean, it's been a fucking like crazy like experience just watching this brand grow to what it is. I mean, fuck, I don't even know if we talked last time I was here, you're gonna drop underwear. Like, I didn't fucking know that was gonna happen.
Yeah, so. Dude, we were working on that for a minute, man. And like, I've always been like, this is the thing is like, I got a pretty plain style, you know. Like, I don't look like everybody fucking else does, and but I'm always like really picky. So like my wife fucking hates it because it's like, well, I only like this deodorant because of this, and this. Don't get that one. I fucking hate that one, but I like this one, you know. Or like same thing with my underwear. It's like, she's like, get me the boxer briefs, but I'm like, these are the short boxer briefs. They have to be the long ones, but I don't want them to be the shiny ones. I want them to be like mostly cotton ones, and blah blah blah. You know, it's just like, we're just fucking terrible at it, you know. So it's like, but what I try to do is like switch that into my gear and switch that into gear from like my career, and like think about like, all right, let's do this with the boxers, and like we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna make funny shit. Like there's these ones that they're coming out. Oh, spoiler alert here, but like in cursive it says "blow me" like all over them. It's like all over print. They're fucking awesome. There's ones with like little lip prints all over it. And there's there's this one. These actually aren't gonna make production. It's really funny, but we sampled them out, and it's like it's all realistic pictures of cats, and on the bottom it says shit. "Pussy's my favorite." It's just fucking like we just like went to the fucking hilt with them, like, and we're just like, what can we get away with? Because this is boxers, you know, like you're doing underwear now, like it's not a t-shirt. So, yeah, so we're like. We just kind of like, I don't know. I wanted to like know how to make everything. Yeah. So it's like, so every single like part of that journey, like we figure things out, but I just spend a lot of time on it so that I can make sure that what we make is like one of the best. Like we make these training shorts, and I think everyone was a little bit skeptical, like, because most companies just let's take a blank like sweat short and just like embroider our name on it or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm at this point now where like even our t-shirts we make ourselves, and like I want to make everything from the ground up and address every issue that I feel is there, and it's not going to be the same for everyone.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about the perfect fit tees. Is that what you call them?
Yeah, the perfect tee.
Yeah, so I was actually, while I'm here, I want to see which one fits me right, because I've been on this solid tee kick. I'm on that Jeff Holt shit right now.
Yeah, dude, like that was a tough one right there. Like so. Jeff is like he's like a solid I can't remember. He's either an all-star guy or a pro club guy. Yeah, and whereas that shit every time, and like there's, you know, I had a little hesitation, to be honest with you, when I gave him to him. It's just like, he's gonna be a picky motherfucker. He wears the same thing every day. Yeah, you know?
It's like, so much easier in life though, dude.
Oh yeah, it's way easier. I totally agree. I went through the kick like this like last year. I didn't want to wear any of our shirts anymore. It's like the hood Bill Gates shit. You know what I mean? Right, totally. Well, and then like for someone like him, what's the easiest way to make sure you're not fucking pissing off anyone, beefing like you're wearing this guy's shit and blah blah blah. He's wear a fucking, you know, just wear a solid tee. It's fair. So, but I gave him one of those t-shirts, and he came back and bought like fucking 15 of them. Nice. Yeah, it's just like, nice. Dude, these are the best. I wear these every fucking day. Totally love them. And it's cool. It's just like, you know, that's been an awesome thing. You know, the training shorts were awesome. Those went really well. We introduced the chicks like yoga pants and workout pants and stuff. We even hit bikinis.
I saw the bikinis and I saw the swimwear shit like that. My wife is interested in that shit. So like, was it just like filling the void? Like, cause you already created this like beach or this fucking lake culture with the board shorts and the hats.
The girls are like, why don't we get this stuff? Why don't we get that? Or like every once in a while you drop something like this, and like, you know, for a while we didn't do the party shirts for the girls. That took forever for us to learn how to do, because we didn't want it to look. I don't want to offend anyone by my way, for lack of better words. My way of saying is that I didn't want it to look too butch. Like I didn't want it to, like, we wanted to be feminine and like show off their curves, because if you don't want to see that, you can just wear the men's one, right? Yeah. You know, so cutting those was weird too, but then like girls wear them and they're cute as fuck. Yeah. And it's like they came out really cool. So we've been trying to work with women as much, and that's the hardest part about my job. And because like it's not all the rest of the stuff comes kind of easy for me because I'm so picky.
Yeah.
So then I'm like,
But as not being a woman, so it's
yeah,
like you're trying to figure.
I haven't been a woman. Like, I don't know. All I think about, I'm like, what's gonna
best way
make
to get
boobs
it
look
off?
rad? You know
What's the easiest way to unbuckle this shit?
Easy to take off. It shows cleavage amazing. Like, you know. So it's like I have to like rely on my wife a lot with that one.
Yeah.
You know, and she's really picky too. So it's, you know, it's hard. And with chicks, like their styles are all over the place, especially in motorcycles right now. It's like, you know, there's a lot of like super young, like hipster type, like, you know, chicks that only want to wear, you know, it's like fucking back to the 90s right now. So it's like
grungy
wearing
and shit.
Fucking weird grungy crops.
So my wife, when
shit.
she does the flannels, like she likes to buy the men's flannels because she likes them to wear like over.
Right.
You know what I mean? And she ties them up or does all the weird women shit. You know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely.
like that's her way of wearing flannels. Like
see, and that's like so that's a perfect example. Like a lot of girls would be like, why are your women's ones so like slim and trim? And it's like, well, because if you want to go with the other type, then you could wear the men's one. Well, we can't make a baggy women's one, a trim women's one, and a men's one.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like if you want the boyfriend's flannel look, then you could just, you know, you buy the men's and it's perfect.
That's exactly what it is, the boyfriend's flannel look.
And that's another part of like knowing your business is, you know, you can't have too many SKUs.
Yeah.
We can't make a size that fits everyone. You know, we can't make, you know,
when you have that many options, it gets confusing too. Like, fuck, man. Like, I'm in Vermont. I'm trying to order this flannel. There's no place to go try them on. Like, there's 4 different sizes of small.
Yeah, exactly.
Small fat, small
like,
tall, small this. Like,
you know, even adding in what we have with like tall sizes, the tall guys get it, but like there's some guys that are like, well, yo, like I'm 5'11". Should I get this tall size? Or probably not.
I'm all torso, bro.
Probably not. And they're like, well, I'm not short. And you're like, yeah, all your friends are 6 foot though. So like, but if you meet a tall motherfucker who's 6'7", then you'll realize what a tall flannel is for. You know?
Yeah.
So it's you know, I don't know, dude. It's been a journey, man. And like all I can tell you is that from me and all my guys, we always try to do is like, and I do this whenever I have dinner with them. Me and Justin just did this the other night. Saturday night, we went out to dinner, and I stopped while we were about to get a drink, and I was like, man, did you ever fucking think that this could happen, dude?
Yeah.
Like, we talk about that shit like 3 times a week. Like, at least 3 times a week. And so just to make sure that we stay grounded and to let us know, like, I'm so fucking happy that I get to do this for a living.
Yeah.
Like, I get to do this and like, and there's times where like I want to be like, fuck, like I'm so sick of answering questions today.
Yeah.
Or I'm so sick of trying to tell someone how to like fucking place an order online or whatever, you know, and like that's just me feeling sorry for myself, being punk. And it's like I gotta look at the overall picture of everything and be like, fuck, dude, like I get to still be around motorcycles. And that's what I wanted to do before. And I get to still do what I want. And I get to creatively use my mind for what I feel like I was supposed to be here to do.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I go home and I feel insanely great because I get so many messages every day that are like people that are inspired by things. So to me, I never even think about the money or any of the other shit that goes with it. What I constantly chase is to make all those areas better.
Yeah.
And I can't thank the world enough for letting me fucking do it.
Yeah.
And I can't talk to my guys enough about it. And for that reason, I think it keeps us all super grounded and super humble and super normal.
Yeah.
You know, and like we're always gonna be this way. I'm always gonna be a motorcycle riding dirtbag. You know, it's like that's all there is to it.
have you really? I know this had to have come into your thought process at some point, but like thought about the brand and this kind of culture behind it that you've kind of cultivated, and thought of yourself like, you know, the Levi's and these 100-year-old companies, like thought about your brand in 100 years, like how that might look, like family or like lineage kind of thing, or
I don't know. I have like, to be honest with you, I feel bad for answering this question because I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs like say like really successful ones, say Andy Frisella or something like that, they're like, I got this 5-year plan and I'm blah blah blah, and I'm like, motherfucker, I am so far ahead of wherever I thought I could ever get to that like at times I feel like I'm just hanging on. But then I like remind myself, I'm like, I got to be able to run my business and not let my business run me. I need to grab the reins. But I haven't been able to think far enough ahead. I would say that like we always talk about Kleenex. Like we're like the ultimate marketing win is when you become Kleenex, which like You don't even pay attention whether it's a fucking Kleenex or not. You don't like. Not a lot of people. Just as many people call it Kleenex than a tissue, but it's a brand, you know. Or like I know that I grew up like that because my dad would wear flannels and he would call them Pendletons. I don't even think he ever owned a Pendleton. Like he didn't have enough money to have a Pendleton. They were just flannels, but it was like it was a Pendleton. You know, that's what he called it. And so that's when you're like, when you become a Dickies or something like that, or whatever, because like you replace the whole name of it. So when someone's like, "Yo, is that a Dixxon?" or something like that, when I hear that shit, I feel like fucking. I mean, like I'm walking on clouds when I hear that kind of stuff. Yeah, because that means that you're just really solidifying your marketplace. Everyone makes flannels, but you're this. Yeah. You know, and it's like, you know, like say like when someone looks at your artwork and they're like, yo, is that Fast Life? Like they recognize it because they know you're the fucking shit at teal. Or they know that your fucking lines swoop differently than someone else's. And Buck's lines are completely different. You know, and so it's
I wish everybody in the world could see that because it's so annoying.
Yeah, I can see it.
It's so fucking annoying, dude. Every other day, like no matter what color scheme it is, and like someone will be like, "This looks familiar," and then you go check out their page. It don't fucking look nothing like their goddamn paint job.
I know, like, dude. Someone did that to my bike recently, and and the last bike, like Buck painted. And dude, the thing's fucking phenomenal. It was probably one of my first like bikes that I've had that I actually had the money to like pay a painter to like really do. You know, everything else is like a school project practically. and fucking this dude's like, wow, it looks familiar, huh? Like, well, it's like, oh, because you have a blue fucking road glider? Are you serious? So like, you put some pinstriper on the tank, you motherfucker? Like, I started getting fucking pissed at first, but I'm like, all right, you know what? I bet these guys go through this shit all the time. It fucking sucks.
I mean, it sucks, but for the most part, like you see the comments. I don't never respond to them. I don't never even feed into it. I've had one painter try to say I stole his shit once, and that kind of bothered me because I don't know any other painter that's done what I've done with this podcast and try to give them a platform with my fucking customers and my audience. Right. Hey man, like tonight I'm doing a podcast with 3 fucking custom painters.
Yeah, dude. You know what I just noticed the other day because I saw that you were meeting up with Silent G. Yeah. And I was like, that's fucking cool. And because that's when you reach a point where you're like, you're comfortable with what you do and what you are as an artist and like what you are as an entrepreneur, that you can sit down with another guy and you guys hash out. Yeah. And the raddest part is that you know all the same struggles and you know all the same shit.
Well, that's why those conversations are good. And one thing that we've been doing, and G has been a great help, and we finally had a conversation with Taylor, and so he's going to come on the podcast in November. And so I've been trying to just, like, I've always helped painters, and painters have always helped me, like on the hush, like behind doors, like, hey man, how'd you do that trick, or how'd you do this? But what I've been trying to show is that, like, when we all talk, we kind of create a better guild within ourselves. To like, when it comes to like outside companies coming in, because custom painters get fucking whored out, dude. Like, we get whored out at SEMA like it ain't nothing, dude. Like, my audience is tired of hearing it, and some other painters that really depend on it probably don't want to hear it. But the truth is, you get nothing to go to SEMA, and you work all week, and you give them all this free shit, this free everything, and then it's for the sake of promotion, when half of us have bigger social media followings than the paint companies we're going up there to do the work for. Right. You know, so it's kind of like I said, it's a new world.
I never thought about that.
Where that shit doesn't benefit us like it did 15 years ago. Right. You know what I mean? And
like that was the only way you can get yourself out.
That's it. Now
they can see your talent that's coming from your hands every day. Yeah. And that's the reason why they're gonna follow that.
Exactly.
Because they don't care about the fucking paint. They're not using the product.
So there's a lot of things that Taylor's. I was so fucking happy when I finally had a conversation with him and realized that he is saying the same shit I've been saying for years. Yeah. So I'm can't wait to have my ideas solidified from another amazing painter. You know what I mean? But the thing is with the painters, man, it's like there's more than enough work to go around for all of us. And if you think about it, I tell people this all the time. It's like, I have 30-something thousand followers, right? I can only handle 40 fucking customers a year, tops. That is the absolute most I can paint helmets or bikes for. Right. So
that's true.
The other
I didn't think about that.
33,600 people, I don't have a service for them, you know?
That's very true.
So
I never thought about it that way. That's very interesting.
So it's like the thing. I mean, some painters can handle more. They have a staff. They have things like that, and that's cool, man. But you know, like I try to make my stuff like art now, in a sense where it's like not that it was never art. It was never taken as art.
Right.
You know, most people got paint jobs because it was the next thing to throw on their bike. You know, they never looked at the paint job like, fuck, man, like I've been talking with Buck Wild for 2 years. He's finally got a spot for me. Like I've always wanted his style of art on my bike. No, like only a small fraction of people look at it that way.
That's
and when
true.
you start cultivating your customers to be those guys, you fucking love what you do.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah,
you really,
definitely.
I mean, we all love what we do. I mean, we're supposed to say that, right? No, I fucking hate it a lot of times. But when I've learned how to get my customers the way I want and to be sought out for my skills and style, that's the best place to be. But then, you know,
it's like established tattooers
Yeah,
too,
exactly,
you know, where it's like, hey, submit me what you want to do, because they're gonna go through it, and once they get to that point where they're like, they could say yes and no.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're like, this is the one that's going to best showcase what I do.
Exactly.
You know?
I want, you know, if you're paying my premium for just my price, is not a premium, but just my price for my artwork, I don't want to give you the struggling thing I'm trying to work out. You know,
Right.
I want to give you the shit that you've started following me for, that you fell in love with my artwork for. That's what I want to give you. And that's usually going to be something along my strong suits.
Right.
You know, I try to work on my own shit as like, okay, I'm going to try this new style on my shit and see if it flies, see if it works, and then market it to people. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Same way you're saying about some of the clothes and some of the things you do. You build it, see if it works, shelf it, or put it out there. You figure it out once you do it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So,
No, absolutely. And that's the thing, is like, it just like anything else, you're going up against painters that will put out whatever the fuck they want.
yeah.
Some of them, you know, not all of them, not the kind of people that you're talking to, but some of them, like they'll put out whatever fucking dog shit that they can do.
You know, I've talked to some
there's-
painters that will take any job in. They'll take any style job for the sake of the challenge, and I don't knock that. You know what I mean?
That's
like
true.
I was at that point at one point in my career where I just really wanted the opportunities, and then you know, opportunities end up coming like, you know, easy, especially when social media happened. Because then once you're not like trying to eat out of the Dallas-Fort Worth pool, now you're eating out of the Texas pool, now the United States pool.
Right.
It changes everything. Like I can find 40 to 100 people that want exactly what I want in America, instead of having to worry about finding 40 to 100 people in Dallas-Fort Worth that I end up having to bend all my like things I want to do or don't want to do to get that job. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean?
That's
It's just
huge.
a different world.
Yeah, definitely.
But
What kind of painter are you using these days?
Matrix, but I've been wanting. The problem is, and that's another thing that we've been talking about with the paint world, is to use something like PPG, which is probably the best chemicals. I don't really like their clear coats and stuff as much, but the chemical part, like the actual base colors, their prices are so outrageous, man. Like, you know, when you tell someone like it's $4,000 to paint a Dyna, they're like, oh man, like I better be getting the best shit in the world. I'm like, that's with like $1,000 worth of materials. The other $3,000 is the 3 weeks worth of work.
Yeah.
So I'm getting $1,000 a week to work on this fucking
Yeah,
bike.
exactly.
You know, like it doesn't go as far as people think it does. And
I actually don't understand how you guys do it. Like for me, like I look at it as like I never have the patience for the intricate tape, the tape jobs, like all that kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
some of the lines, especially the stuff that's popular right now. Fuck, crazy.
It gets very confusing. It's kind of acquired taste. I mean, I'm sure you can look at 100 fucking layouts of ideas for your flannels, and like
Yeah.
you see them as a full flannel. But
Yeah.
I'm just looking at a little fucking 6x6 square. I'm like, dude, I don't know about that one. You're like, dude, this is the shit. And I'm like,
I talk to customers, like a lot of corporate customers all the time. Like we'll
Yeah.
be doing, you know, like we have some stuff coming out with PM. We got some stuff with SNS, like all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, this is gonna fucking suck for you. just letting you know. And then like show them all this stuff. They're like, what
Yeah.
is that? And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pick my 3 favorite. Here
Yeah.
you go.
so
Kind of have to go from there, but yeah.
So what we do is like we do a sketch for just about everything, like a sketch of a tank or a helmet or whatever. And I always tell my customers this. I was like, look, when I send you a picture of that sketch, I'm sending you something that I am stoked to do. I'm not going to waste my time drawing and sketching shit just to get you something in your face just so you're out of my hair. And like, no, when I show you this picture, it's because I see the paint job. I see every little detail, every little thing, how it's going to do this and do this. I really don't want your approval, but this is how this works. So I got to,
Yeah.
Please trust my vision on this. Here's what I'm thinking. I know that you're looking at crayons and markers right now and not pearlescent paints and shit, but just have faith in me. That's why you picked me. And so that's I always tell people that it's like, I'm not the best customer service guy, but I'm a painter and I'm an artist and I do this. So I'm having to learn how to be a customer service guy. Oh, yeah, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Just like this podcast, like I'm not a fucking talker. I suck at it, but I'm just using the resources that I have of being able to get us on a table with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's all I'm doing is trying to get good at this shit while taking the opportunities that come along. So
absolutely. Well, I mean, I think there's something to be said too. Is when you look at something, like I was talking to my wife about this last night. Like I was telling her, I was like, oh yeah, I have a podcast. I was looking at my calendar and I was like, I got a podcast tomorrow. I forgot. And then she's like, oh, what are you doing? And I started explaining and everything. And then I was like, dude, it's a trip. So I'm like, do you remember when it was like me and my pops had our shop and I was like always struggling. I was always trying to figure out how I could take this thing next level, and it just like felt impossible a lot of times. But I was like, how do I become like a player in that industry? You know, like how do I do that? Like I'm fucking busting my ass every day. Like we're fucking making this cool custom stuff. We can do this, this, and this. But like this is really fucking hard. And then I was telling her, I was like, but to be like, I'm on that list of people that they want to talk to, which is cool, you know. And I was like, there's a bunch of like dope builders in there. There's a bunch of fucking rad painters. There's a bunch of people that represent for the people that are customers in this whole fucking thing, you know. And I was like, and I never thought I was gonna be on that list. And I was like, that's cool as fuck. And so for you, along the same lines, is like you've worked under some of those dudes that are fucking, you know, that have been around for a long time. Yeah. And when you get to like rub elbows with the dudes that you grew up watching, you know, that you grew up fucking and guys that are like, you know, like, hey, one of my best friends is Arlen Ness, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, holy fuck. You know, like, that's insane. You know, it's like, those are the moments where, like, I really am so glad to be still involved in the things that I'm involved with, you know. And I bet it's the same for you, you know.
I'm glad you said that because I've had conversations with my friends. I was like, you know, could you imagine... Like, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't imagine, like, having Dixxon Flannel's following on social media. I'd be the fucking worst dude in the world. I just, you know what I mean? Like, fuck you, man. I got, like, 100,000 followers, dude. Eat my shit or whatever. You know what I mean?
Eat my shit. Jump off a cliff, dude.
But when I see people, when I see people that have, like yourself and Carrie and Jeff Holt and all these people in the industry that are, like, you got, I guess you never know, like, when just that hour, that 2 hours, or that time, or whatever, how much that could do to help that other guy's business go somewhere.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like that shout out or you know, like all that shit. It's nothing to you. You know what I mean? In some case, I mean, this is probably more time is money in this industry, but that shit means a lot to people that are trying to get out there, and then it builds you a loyal, you know, people. They're like, man, like, you know what, dude, whatever he's doing, he's fucking up right now, but that dude had my back a long time. I'm gonna stick behind him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get that, and I think that's real important. Then I always think like I don't dream about being some big person on like I'm not trying to be Joe Rogan. I just want to do this and keep doing this and make money at it and fucking eat good and be able to afford a couple of Dixxons a month. You know what I mean? That's all I'm trying to do. But
yeah, I hear you.
You know, you don't get to control how this goes. You know, like.
No.
What if, you know, we finally get the video podcast rolling, and next thing you know, it's like fucking all these people want to get in it, and it becomes this big thing. I don't know. I want it to be there because I want the money and the stability that hopefully it will bring. But then I got to be a guy in front of a camera, which I have no fucking plan to do. I'm gonna have to get dentures and shit. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that shit, man. I like the audio side of it. I get to be an ugly fuck on the
You're like, I got a face made for radio, dude.
Yeah, dude.
No, I hear you.
Put my 20-year-old face in there.
I understand.
But you know, like I said, like some chick's got a little Facebook like video thing she's doing, and she asked me, she's like, hey man, can I do a little live Facebook feed on you with some questions? I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, because a couple years ago, that was me trying to get a fucking audience with somebody. Yeah. So, like,
exactly.
As long as it's not like, I mean, I'll always do shit like that for people just to kind of help them do whatever. Dude, people ask me how to do podcasts all the time. Right. You know, I'm like, hey, dude, buy this, do this. If you have any questions, call me back. Random fucking people online. I have no problem helping people with paint, with podcasts, with you know, whatever small amount of fame that I have, like I'll do whatever I can to just pay back the fucking universe for the opportunities that I've gotten. You know what I'm saying?
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree. One of the things that I set out to do this year was to say yes way more than I said no. And I think
it's the best movie in the world. Yes,
yeah,
man.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like I noticed that it was like I started using the excuse to everyone that I'm too busy, and I was just like, man, I haven't gone. Like, there's so many things that I could go and do. Like, there's so much of this country I haven't seen.
Yeah.
And like, yet, like, I've never even traveled to Europe and shit. Like, you know, and it's because, like, I've always worked. And it's like, I was always tied to the shop. And once I wasn't, I was tied to the dealership. And once I wasn't doing that, then I was, like, tied to, like, making sure this place fucking got up and running, you know? And now I look at it and, like, I was just like, dude, I want to say yes more. I want to go to all these things, and I'm just gonna fucking go. I'm gonna give them my time, and instead of saying I'm so busy, then they know I'm busy, and so maybe they'll just be super appreciative that I'm there.
Yeah.
I don't know. And so it's like this year I've fucking been all over the place, and it's been fucking awesome because every time you go somewhere, you have a newfound respect for something, or Mitchell, your experience there. Yeah, exactly. It's like one of the randomest places you never would have thought it. Yeah, just going in the middle of fucking nowhere, you know, and it's been crazy. It's just it opens your mind up, you know, and so it makes you just think, like, when you feed off the energy of people in real life. Yeah, especially when I made myself do it sober for a long time. You really fucking see all this shit. I don't know how you did that. Like, then you like start seeing, like, you feed off their stoke, and like they're just so stoked, and like you start listening. You're really listening instead of going there just to get it done. Yeah, you know, and like that changed a lot of things this year, and so now I'm a lot more empathetic and a lot more, you know, and like I can really like genuinely say that I want to help for the right reasons, you know.
It seems like you're in a way better mindset than I think that I me not having, if I got put in your shoes all of a sudden, there's no way I could handle the world that you live in, you know what I mean? I think right now I'm in a very entitled place, you know, like my inner millennial's coming out. Yeah.
Okay, I love it. That's
Did you ever go through that phase though?
Yes. Yeah, dude. I've been a couple years of just being like a bitter motherfucker. Yeah, you know.
I think I'm in the middle of that right now.
It's like you. So there, I think there's just parts of it. Like, so some people say, as far as the following goes, like, you know, you can't ever know what it's like to be told at least 10 to 15 times that you suck until you're told 10 to 15 times a day that you suck. Yeah. Like, I'm used to it now. Like, it's like, hey, fuck you, motherfucker. Like, you rich dumbass. And it's like, okay. Like, all right, well, why the fuck you have to show your cars? I'm like, well, because they inspire people, and people like cars, and I like looking at pictures of cars, so I'm gonna show you pictures of my fucking cars. Yeah. You know, it's like, well, fucking, like, blah, blah, must be nice, and blah, 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 and fuck this, must and whatever. Nice.
That's the worst one.
Or, like, yeah, I fucking hate that one. Or, like, look at Carrie, dude. Like, Carrie has to, like, he has to fucking claw his way still at this industry, even after the things that he's done in his life, and still have motherfuckers being like, must be nice to have Pink's money, like shit like that, you know? And then end up coming out of it being the guy who spends the most time talking to his fucking fans and shit. And so, like, I'm at a better place with it right now, but I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, 2 years ago, I was in a dark fucking place, and I was just trying to medicate myself to not have to listen, you know. And I didn't like hearing that shit from people because I was taking it too seriously and too personally. And now I'm just like, you know what? Like, I'm just, like I was just saying, like, I'm just thankful to fucking be here, and I get to meet a bunch of cool motherfuckers that like the same shit that I like. Yeah. And I get to meet like super talented motherfuckers like you, and like, you know, and like everyone else that's gonna be on your podcast that I know. And it's like the fact that I get to say that I'm part of that circle. Yeah. And that I'm part of like the way that things tick and the way that things fucking work. Fuck, dude. Like, I'd fucking, if I get hit by a bus on the way home today, fuck it. Yeah. Call it a good one.
Yeah, one of the weirdest. Good one. I've made this statement a lot of times, and I hope you don't take it the wrong way, but it's a super strange world where a t-shirt company is more famous than almost any other bike builder that we have right now.
I don't know why that works the way it does. I don't
You know,
even
like
wanna
if you
I don't want to say anything.
if you really look at it, like 15 years ago, if you were at Arizona Bike Week and fucking Billy Lane was here, you know, whoever else, Matt Hotch, all these fucking amazing builders that was getting like just on a shrine pedestal for their, you know, just their who they were to like this industry or whatever. Just maybe it was just their freedom of being a bike builder, and that wasn't ever, you know, showed to the world. But and then you kind of had this thing like where everybody wanted to be a bike builder to be famous for like the last 15 years.
Oh yeah.
And then now it's like all of a sudden you come along and you're doing this shit, but you're like hiring Ramjet to build you a bike and hiring fucking Motorwitch to do it. But yet you like, they do more beneficial by doing work for you, for their company, than vice versa. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. So it's a weird way that it works out, and it's funny because like these days I don't even have fucking time to touch bikes.
Yeah.
And what I try to always think about it is like, if I do anything at all, I want it to always be beneficial for everyone else. And so it's like every move that I make when it comes to business,
That's honest marketing.
it's just like, yeah, definitely. And it's like, hey, I think if we did this part will help you in this, and this part's going to help me in this, and blah, blah, blah. And that's even like going to say, like, say when I did that shit with Quaid, like most of the parts on my bike were Harley parts, and it's not because I don't have anything to do with Harley. I mean, for the most part, like Harley probably fucking hates me, to be honest with you. Like,
you sell more flannels out there dealers than they do.
Exactly. And it's like, and they should just ask us to make them some stuff, but they don't want to do that. It's just not the way. So, but I did that because I wanted them to benefit, and them and the dealers who carry my shit to benefit from saying the stuff that's on my bike. They could actually just go into the dealership and order it there. Yeah. And then it's like, not like that I owe the dealership anything, because I don't, you know, and it's like, not that I owe Harley anything, I really fucking don't. Yeah. But I'm not, you know, like if fucking Indian gave me a bike, I'd fucking ride an Indian. I don't give a shit. You know, it's like, I mean, like, I grew up bleeding orange, but like, no, knowing what I know these days, like I'm out for me, and I'm out for
makes jaded a little bit, basically.
Yeah, like I'm out for the independent guy. That's where I always was, you know, and that's where I was before I worked at the dealership, and I'm even more so that guy after I worked at the dealership. Yeah. And so I just like that. But the fact is, and me and Brian talked about this, is that we don't get to have the aftermarket industry without the factory.
That factory, yeah.
And so you gotta love that, you know, for, you know, in a sense, but and you got to love the souls of these motorcycles that allow us all to do what we do. But going back to the other stuff, it's a weird, crazy thing. Sometimes I feel weird that I don't touch any of my own shit. Like, I don't even fucking touch cars or anything. Yeah. You know, it's like those things go into like Switch. Suspension does all of our stuff. But the thing is like, if someone wanted to save money and they were going to make their own flannel, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I'm a professional at that. Yeah. And so now, like, I look at it as like, why don't I use my platform to help these guys who are professionals do what they do best?
Yeah, but at the same time, like, think about exactly, goes back to that last conversation about how you hiring these shops is giving them. I never knew who this fucking air ride company was you just talked about.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like your following and your audience is like, oh shit, these guys are into this guy. Let me follow these guys now. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, totally. I love doing that, and because I think that, like, I daily get hit up by people that are just fucking hitting me up saying, hey, I could do this for you, and I could do this for you, it's going to cost you this. Yeah. I could do this, and this, and it's going to cost you this. And instead, like, I try to use it as like, this is the shit that I'm into. Check it out. These guys are fucking really good at it. And none of those guys fucking like sponsor me in any type of way. Yeah. I pay the same exact shit that everyone else does. And that's the thing is, like, and I think that's cool for the customer to know that, like, you know, like, yeah, dude, like, we're selling a lot of shit right now. We put that fucking money right back into everywhere else, you know, and into the same shit that anybody else that's a customer of ours would probably spend it the same exact way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like-minded individuals, right?
Yeah,
you know,
bad,
it's like
bad idea. Like, you take a 401k loan out and you get a fucking air ride on your truck.
Yeah, seriously. So it's
I've done 401k paint jobs on bikes before.
Oh yeah,
dude took a fucking I was like, that's awesome. I'm flattered, but I don't think it was the best idea on your financial planning side. So you're going to be paying this off for a while.
People have been telling us we need to sign up for that. I don't know what this. There's some like credit thing out there that, like, it's like a PayPal, but you don't actually have the money to do it. It's like
like 100 days same as cash kind of thing.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. Like they can run that on websites now.
Yeah.
And they're like, you guys really need to get into that. And I'm like, I'm not doing that to my customers. It's like, not at all.
Yeah, dude.
I'm sorry if
my
you
boy John Jessup does that with his bike. You know John Jessup up there in Dream Rides up in Stockton, California.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know him
dude,
personally though.
He's an FXR king, dude.
Yeah.
He built some sick shit.
Yeah, his shit is definitely sick.
So he's on his website. He's a sponsor of ours too, so I'm kind of shamelessly plugging him right now. But he has that 90 day same as cash thing. It's like, dude, you can order helmets and exhaust, all this shit. That's fucking crazy, man. Like I'm a sponsor. I'm gonna use my own fucking offer code and go in there and try to give me some 90 days.
Right. Hell yeah.
That's fucking crazy. But yeah, that's I don't know, man. It just so many things are like just the thoughts, like you see shit that following you on social media and you see what the company's doing and what they're coming out with. I'm like, fuck, man. I wish I could have been in the room to hear the decision to make fucking workout shorts and yoga pants. I thought the yoga pants thing was going to be a thing just because we all like seeing chicks with yoga pants, right?
Right.
I was kind of thinking it was like more like dirty,
Yeah, dude. To be honest with you, it's just like I felt like what I do is like we provide a voice for the people that felt like nobody else does. We're just like, maybe we buy Lululemon products because they're really good, but they're way too fucking expensive and they don't talk like me.
This is probably what you guys have already figured out, but it's what I think is cool just thinking of it right now is like how we said before, like, fuck, man, like, I want to buy your flannels, but then, so I'm going to buy it, but I can't ever fucking wear it to anything bike related because everybody's going to have it. So it's like, you want to be that one dude with that fucking flashy ass flannel in like the supermarket or some shit, like where you're not gonna, like, you get to steal the show with it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's cool having other products that you can still kind of be brand, part of this little tribalism we got for Dixxon and shit. Like, you can be part of the brand and still have their shit, whether it's a t-shirt or a hat or gloves on your bike and now fucking underwear with pussycats on them, which those aren't gonna be released, but
we might just do it anyways, just because it's live on the podcast. It's been put out in the world now, so
get that pussycat.
It's you know what? Like, we focus. My big focus on lately has been on like towards perfection of products rather than the branding of them.
Yeah.
However, the customer has also been asking for the branding a lot as well, which is that's a crazy thing. One day when you're like your socks that just say Dixxon on them, like we couldn't sell those before. We just sold rad socks.
That was one of the things I liked about your podcast when you were doing that a lot more frequently back in the day. Some of the ones that you talked about, a lot of the entrepreneurial side of business and the branding and the marketing and all these things that have helped you get where you're at. And you said that in there, and I've always thought it's always stuck with me about, it's not about just making another flannel or another shirt. It's about, how do I make this better than what's out there already? Like, it's not about being another one of the guys.
Always about solving a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I feel like that's the reason why it's hard when someone's like, hey, I want to start a t-shirt brand or whatever. I'm like, what, are you going to put black diners on it? Like, it's like, it's going to be fucking crazy. It's going to be way different than everything else, but it's because it's like I feel like the reason why things are so different, I looked at it as like, there's got to be a way and a reason why some of these companies got so big, and how do we figure out like what they did, or what did they provide or whatever else, and I think a lot of the big companies is because in the past there wasn't huge brands, and then when people look at Quicksilver and Rusty and blah, 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 stuff like that, it's because like brand names really started sticking. You could just put a logo on a shirt.
Yeah, like that Tommy Hilfiger shit from the late 90s where everybody had to have a Tommy. And
that's what we've been riding on for the past like 30 years, you know? And so you got to like figure out in this new day and age what you can do. And now it's like, it's about solving a problem. And you think about it, and everything else that we spend a lot of money on, like that's what it does. It solves an issue. You got to think about, like, instead of being the motorcycle parts guy who sells the same shit that everybody else has, there's guys out there now, and it's a great time in motorcycles right now because this shit is out there. There's a lot of individual companies and mom and pop shops and stuff that are doing cool shit. They solve issues. Yeah. And it's like, so taking that same thought, that mindset from that part of the industry, and then turning around is like, how do we do that to clothing, and not just be a fucking t-shirt company that put pictures of bikes on it so that it could let everyone else know that you ride a bike. Yeah. Instead, like, maybe maybe I don't want to be a biker or known as a biker. I've never considered myself a biker per se, but that's a weird term. Are you a biker?
I think I am.
Yeah. You're like, or is it like something you earn and I just don't know you haven't gotten there
like
yet?
when you get 1 million followers on a or 1 million followers on a YouTube, you get that gold plaque or some shit. It's some kind of weird thing they do, but yeah, there needs to be like a biker council, so that after you do like X amount of fucking biker things, you get a check off. It's like a Boy Scout badge thing.
I feel like if you were to say your buddy, is it Steve Chamberlain?
Yeah.
So like when I posted that picture with me, you and him, like I immediately got messages from like New York, fucking, Virginia, fucking like most of Savior's dudes. And they're just like, that is a riding motherfucker, that dude. And like, and so then I started following him and I started like looking at everywhere he'd been over the summer. I was like, God damn, dude.
So I met him at
logging some serious miles.
We hosted a camp out last year and he rode down from Michigan solo, 1,000 straight, came, camped, partied, rode his ass off. He's the only, like, Mark is one of the best riders in Texas, and Steve is one of the best, like, fucking cornering, hard riding motherfuckers there is. And like I said, we met at the camp out. He flew to Dallas earlier this year and stayed with me and went to some bike events and stuff. And
hell yeah.
And then I met him in Omaha. We rode from Omaha to the day that we saw you there was we just showed up. We had rode from Omaha that day.
Oh shit.
And dude, he's just doing rad shit, man. He's out there. If anybody's out there doing, cool shit as a biker, that's him. Like, he's doing the shit that, I say him and I want everybody to follow him and know about he's doing. But that's the kind of shit that we try to promote, is just getting out there and riding and making friends across the country. That way you have a reason to go to the spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's a person that people need to pay attention to and follow, because it's like you take into consideration his judgment on, like, say, parts and shit like that. He's a riding motherfucker. He's pushing that thing to the extreme. Whereas like a bunch of other guys are like, they're playing jewelry on their thing, and it's like, well, like I get a lot of people that ask me this, is like those Olin's rear shocks that you got on there.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think? Do they really make a difference? I'm like, that bike rides pretty nice. It's really nice, but any fucking shock out right now is so much better than they were 10 years ago that I don't think that I can push this heaviest production motorcycle that actually has like one of the slowest motorcycles that you could buy, like far enough to the point where I'm going to know the difference of those versus, like, say, some Legends. I really don't know.
Well, see, that's the thing about most of us. Yeah, that's exactly the case. Like, and the reason why I got them is because I have two fucking friends like Mark and Steve that I'm trying to play catch up with, and it's like golf, dude. Like, when you play golf, the first time you go out there, you swing and you fucking do a good job and you get hooked, and then you come back the next time and you suck at it because you thought too much about everything.
Oh yeah.
And that's how it is a lot of times with like hauling ass on bikes. Like, you get out there, you think you got it, and then you start buying shit, and then the thing that I love about Steve and Mark and even the other dude, I don't know if you met him, but he goes by the Average Life of Bob, riding motherfucker. These dudes put effort into their actual skills in riding, and that's why they can do this shit. The suspension and all these other things they do to their bike just make it easier. Mm-hmm. It makes it more controllable. But it's the skills that these guys have as riders that allows them to do that shit. 4
or 5 years ago, you couldn't even tell what Mark's bike was.
Dude, I don't think.
Does he still ride that thing?
He has a newer Softail. He bought one right when they came out, and he's got a couple FXRs, I think, and then the Softail, but.
This like Road Glide Dyna.
Oh yeah, he still has that
Frankenstein
fucking
thing. That thing was fucking awesome.
The problem is, like, I'm the visual guy. Like, I nerd out on the way things visually look, and that bike is the ugliest fucking thing in the world. And every time I'm over at his shop,
rips on that thing, dude.
He fucking rides that motherfucker, and it's like. When he would be like, hey, I'm going to come up to Dallas, I'm like, what bike you riding? Because I want to ride the nice one so we can look cool together and do some Instagram photos and shit, not the fucking 95 fucking Road Glide.
Every time you look at it, you see something different. You're like, what the fuck? What did this start out as? Like, you're just all confused. It's crazy, dude.
It is a fucking purpose-built bike for somebody that just, I say purpose-built, but he got rid of the shit like bags and stuff, but it has a huge tour pack on it. It makes no sense. He's got like the king fucking tour pack on it, but no bags. Cut the rails off to make it like a Dyna, and a tour pack that's wider than the fucking front fairing. It just, it makes no sense. He's like, dude, let's paint it. I'm like, no, it looks good in black. Paint can't save this one.
There was nothing. There are no lines on this bike anymore. So there's nothing to accentuate, just dead ends.
Yeah, just paint it that black that they just came out with. It just doesn't reflect light.
Oh, fuck. That's fun. Dude, after this podcast, it makes me I just want to go on riding trips now. I'm kind of stoked, a little bit bummed because I'm really busy and I can't go on any riding trips right now, but thank you.
No, dude, it is. That's one thing this podcast does do is get people want to go ride bikes far. And but man, like I said, it's all about networking and being cool and being good people and then making friends everywhere. And then, you know, there's nothing cooler than feeling like, fuck, man, I'm riding into Phoenix. We're going to be in Phoenix tonight. Dude, all the homies are there. We're going to, you know, everybody's going out of their way to come have a drink tonight. Like it makes like that. One of the things that's fun but kind of sucks about riding is if you don't have a destination sometimes.
Yes. Like, yeah. Totally.
You know, they say it's like, oh, fuck, it's not about the destination, it's the journey kind of thing. But, you know, like when you're hauling ass down I-10 and there's nothing to see, it's like, I want to go somewhere.
Yeah, you want that destination. So when you get there, it's like, oh, all right. Like exactly. I got there, I made it, and then there's a fucking celebration waiting for me.
Exactly, and that's what's fun, man.
Yeah,
so,
fuck yeah.
So shit, dude, we can start wrapping this up, man. Appreciate you taking almost 2 hours out of your fucking busy ass day.
Absolutely, dude. That one quick, man.
What real quick though, so are you able to talk? I mean, you've been posting about the new facility and stuff. So is it just going to be more about just more room to kind of get shit out? I mean, are you kind of bottlenecked here with the two doors or what? Yeah,
dude, it's like the best way I could describe our current location to anybody who's a motorcycle guy. You can't pour 4 quarts of oil into a funnel all at once. Yeah. It's a fucking funnel. Yeah. You know, so it's like same thing with packages, you know. So now we've gotten to the point where it's like, dude, we had that sale like on Labor Day, and it took us a fucking week to pack all the orders in. I mean, like I had an early crew, I had a late crew. Like I
got me a $20 flannel that day.
Yeah. Fuck, dude. It was like that was the time we looked in the crevices of everywhere here. We're like, what do we have left? Like, let's like really make this sale something fucking special, you know? Yeah. And it just got to the point where like we can't operate here. I mean, you saw it when you came in. We have there's currently, I think as of tomorrow, there will be 13 shipping containers outside that aren't even, they're all full. And we can't fit them inside of the warehouse.
So the crazy thing is like being here when you first kind of set this up with the skate ramp and the bar, and then the wall was like right here.
Oh yeah, we were at 2,500 square feet, 2,200 square feet. We were at
And then and then the last time I showed up here with my brother, and then all the boxes everywhere and shit. It's like
And then the last time we got here, we had just gotten to 10,000 square feet. We knocked down all the walls, so we're at 10,000.
You're waiting to do the rear. Or you were acquiring the back, I think, or something like that.
Right.
And you're talking about how it's like creepy as fuck back there.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. It's still creepy like that. It's fucking weird. We'll be stoked to leave that. But yeah, so our new facility.
Still going to have like a showroom storefront kind of thing going on?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Cool. So right now our showroom's only, it's like 800 square feet, 900 square feet. So, we have people travel from everywhere to come in here. And so the new one, it's set up as 13,000 square feet of showroom space, but we're not going to use it. We'll probably say about 5,000 square feet.
You put some of those cars and bikes in there just to kind of...
that's kind of the plan, too. Yeah. So, like, we're going to take our containers there. We're going to make that part of it because we want that history there, too.
Yeah.
You know, like, people have watched this place grow, and you know, I'm not going to lie. It's going to be... There's going to be some parts that are going to be really hard for us leaving here. Like, we feel like we really grew up here, you know? Like, I mean, we're fucking idiots, like, you know, not that long ago. Still, like, actually mildly idiots, but, like, just mild versions of what it was before, you know? And so, like, so much of our lives have changed here, and we're so attached to it, man. Like, we were doing this video thing this one day, and we were asking about it, and me and Marco both, like, had, like, tears in our eyes. Like, you're just like, dude, like, fucking... I figured out how to be a dad while I was here, you know? And even though my kid was already fucking 4 or 5 years old, you know, it's like I figured out how to do a lot of things. I figured out how to chase a lot of my demons away. I figured out so many different things that I had to get out of the way to figure out so that we could be what we're doing right now because it demanded everything out of us. And so when you think about leaving it, it's very weird. But like
you're a sentimental guy.
I am a sentimental guy, yeah. So it's kind of a hard one. But you know what? This new one though, this is the first building we've ever bought.
Yeah.
So like we actually bought this one. We've been working towards this for a long time. We were talking about buying a building 2 years ago, and we were just like, dude, it's not in the cards. And who knows? Like at that point, we would have bought a 20,000 square foot building, and we would have outgrown it already, anyways.
Yeah.
So this new 50,000 square foot building, I think about 40 of it is warehouse, and then we obviously have to make quite a few more offices. There's a lot of big changes for us. Like we have to change our level of experience, so we have to bring in a lot of customer service people, stuff like that. The only things that don't really change are basically the attitude of our company, the way it works, what the customer feels.
Yeah,
it's just gonna get better, and the design, really, because we're not adding really designers. Like we're still just like running. There's 3 of us.
Yeah,
just like running the whole thing, the whole production and everything.
So, you know, a lot of like your podcast we talked about earlier, it kind of touched on these things. So would you say that like social media is still your biggest driving for your advertising? Or because I know you do the email marketing too, that's part of something that I receive as well from you guys.
So we still, this year's the first year that we've ever had ad spend on Facebook.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
In the past, like we didn't have enough inventory to do that. And we always ran out of stuff. So then all you're doing is just wasting money telling people you don't have something, you know?
Yeah.
So now we try to get the word out a little bit more. I mean, we got to do that, you know, it's business. But this is the first time we've ever had ad spend, but it's still all through social media.
Yeah.
And I kind of believe in the slow, long road, you know? And that's like the slow, long road is the one that, you know, we do it organically and we do it truthfully, then we're going to be here.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to be here to stay. And even if we put it this way, if fucking 5,000 people tomorrow decided that I fucking suck, you know, or started
at least you're in the real estate game now, so
yeah, I have that going too. Did you see that picture of me in a suit the other day?
Yeah,
maybe that's gonna be on a bus stop somewhere near.
So what we need from Dixxon now is that we need to get suits like that to make us look that good for at least one picture for us thicker dudes.
Like slimming one from the front. Yeah. Serious.
You have some Spanx on or some shit?
Serious, right?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, man.
It look good, man.
It fucking sucked, dude. I'm going to my sister's wedding this next weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And they asked me to be in the wedding. I was like, thank you so much. I get to be in the wedding. It's actually just an obligation that I have to stand in front of all these people being fat.
Yeah.
Fatter than all the rest of these young guys. And so like her dude picked out a slim fit suit, and the biggest size fucking jacket they wear is the one that I got, which is only like a fucking 46 or some shit. And so like I'm like hulking out of the motherfucker. And so like and like it has to be this certain suit. And like so I can't go any bigger. And like I just imagine my sister like is supposed to be the one being stressed about not fitting into a fucking dress, yet here I am. I'm the fucking motherfucker who is like, I'm stressed out about whether I can fit in my suit or not, so I can stand in front of these people that I don't know for an hour. You know, it's like, so.
Yeah, anyway. that's one of my biggest goals, man. Like
that's the reason why the suit picture.
I don't know if I haven't put out a podcast since the Jeff Holt one, because I knew I was coming here all month, and so I grew up playing basketball, right? So I was pretty fit all the way up until like 28, and then I discovered beer, and then it's been downhill from there. So as the last month, man, I've been going back to play basketball at the court. So mind you, I'm playing with like 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. I'm not fucking good anymore like I used to be. And finally, after like 3 weeks of going out there, like every day of the week, like an hour, get a real good sweat, feel good. All my muscles are kind of hurting. It's like I finally hurt my back. And I was out all last week, man, fucking just barely being able to move, couldn't barely ride the bike. Like it fucking hurt bad.
Oh, man.
So it's starting to get scary, because at 37, it's like, okay, I know that I keep putting off exercise, but I'm getting to a point now where I haven't done it so long that now things just break. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like...
So my back hurt really bad when I started playing hockey and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're all like, dude, the problem is that like your gut, your abdominal muscles is everything that like, you know, obviously supports your back. And I was like, fuck. So you're just saying I'm fucked. Like I'm just fucked.
Yeah.
Now I'm moving around and I could do stuff again, and it's good. It feels great. But
dude, you lost a lot of weight, man. Like just watching the pictures on Instagram, it's like, fuck, dude, like it's fucking inspirational, man. Like that's what this shit's all about, right?
It's hard, dude. But the other thing was too is like, how are we gonna sell fucking workout shorts? made for us to be fatter.
Yeah.
Watching TV. Like, I got to do something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Oh,
It's
it
crazy.
is what it is, you know?
Yeah, it sucks.
Got to get out there and move. All right,
Shit.
dude. Well, fucking
Right.
thanks for having me, man.
No problem, man. Thank you for doing it.
Appreciate the
got to
fuck
do
out
it
of
in
it.
your studio, which is pretty dope. So
Hell yeah.
see how that goes on the other end of this.
The
But
studio's killer, man. I mean, and got to thank my bike's running great thanks to Thunder Max. And no, I'm just kidding. Who else you got on there on the lineup?
Thundermax, Lindahl, Simpson.
Keeping safe with that
Big-
Simpson.
Yeah, Big Bear and Lexan Moto. That's
Those
where
are
it's
good
at.
ones, dude. Those
Lexus.
are fucking really good ones.
The headsets?
No, I mean, just a list of
Oh, yeah,
sponsors. Like, those
yeah.
are all really good companies. That's fucking killer.
Yeah, I mean, we've been, dude, I don't know. I mean, like, usually we have someone on and then, like, for the case of certain ones, they sell shit off the podcast and then,
Yeah.
like, hey, we want to sponsor you. I'm like, cool.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
I'll
Hell
take
yeah.
it.
Well, keep on doing what you're doing, man.
Cool.
I'm stoked to be here.
Thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you again.
All right.
I hope you guys enjoyed that great podcast we had with Danny. And I hope you guys are checking out our sponsors, Simpson Motorcycle Helmets on Instagram and SimpsonMotorcycleHelmets.com. Dream Rides John on Instagram and TeamDreamRides.com. Use Fast Life at checkout for 10% off. Kevin at Big Bear Choppers, BigBearPerformance.com, and give him a phone call at 909-478-7788. Paint Huffer Metal Flake on Instagram, PaintHuffer.com, and that Fast Life at checkout offer code. Don't forget about that shit. Also want to thank Lindahl Brakes on Instagram and LindahlBrakes.com and Fast Life at checkout for 10% off. And last but not least, my dudes at Lexan Moto on Instagram and LexanMotorcycle.com. Fast Life at checkout for 15% off. And take a look at the new products they just released. Don't sleep on it, folks. I'm getting some. You need to get some too. Also want to thank all of you Patreon supporters. Don't forget you can check out our website, fastlifegarage.com. Front page is Patreon. It's simple, it's easy, and you could do it and never have to worry about it again. $1 a month is all it takes. You can do as much as you like, but the $1 is all I ask for. So thank you guys, and hope you guys are continuing to follow us, The Fast Life Garage on Instagram. We do still have the Fast Life Podcast on Instagram, but we're kind of toying whether or not we want to continue to put the content on that one or just the Fast Life Garage. But anyway, thank you for following this podcast and me and our listeners or our guests and just all the shit we're doing. So I'm going to stop right now. Thank you guys. Peace.